ahead, get all the choir to the front. Brothers and sisters, choir to the front. We're going to get ready to start Shabbat service. All right, brothers and sisters, let's stand and face Jerusalem. Let's get this Shabbat service going. We are going to repeat after Brother Mike. We are going to recite Yah's prayer. So please echo Brother Mike. Go ahead, sir.
Our Yahweh,
Our Yahweh,
which art in heaven,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom come,
thy will be done,
thy will be done,
as in heaven,
as in heaven,
so in earth.
so in earth.
Give us day by day
Give us day by day
our daily bread,
our daily bread,
and forgive us our sins,
and forgive us our sins,
for we also forgive everyone
for we also forgive everyone
that is indebted to us.
that is indebted to us.
And lead us not
And lead us not
into temptation,
into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory forever.
and the glory forever.
In Yahweh Shah's name we pray.
In Yahweh's name we pray.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. All right, sisters and brothers, you can have a seat. We're going to have a couple selections from the choir, and then we will begin our Sabbath Bible study lesson.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, so in honor of our History Month, as we like to call it, we are looking forward to singing two songs that's related to what our people have been through. So the first song is called We Need You, Lord, which we know that's Yahweh. And then the second one will be Seek the Lord, which also we know is Yahweh. So come back to him, my people. All right?
Hallelujah, sisters and brothers.
Hallelujah.
I know we all need the Lord in these perilous times. So if you need the Lord, please stand up your feet and help us lift up the Lord's name.
Yes.
We need you. We need you, Lord. Come and
tired now. We're calling you.
We need you, Lord. Our people out here dying every day. Lost in this world, just wasting away. No one seems to care. Are you really there? Help us now, Lord, the struggle we can't bear.
What is this we have to face? Remove us now from this place. You said if we call, you wouldn't let us fall. Please, oh Lord, take us from it all. We need you, Lord. Come and please save us, Lord. We don't know what else to do. We're tired now. We're calling you.
We need you, Lord. We are crying out to you, oh Lord. The enemy, he's coming to destroy. How could this be so? We feel left alone. Help us now, Lord, we can't carry on.
What is this we have to face? Remove us now from this place. You said if we call, you wouldn't let us fall. Please, oh Lord, take us from it all. We need you, Lord. Come and please save us, Lord. We don't know what else to do. We're tired now. We're calling you.
We need you, Lord.
Crying out to you. Help us heal this land.
Nothing else to do.
Nothing else to do.
We'll follow your command.
Follow your command.
We will turn
from
our wicked ways.
Oh, our wicked ways.
Lord, we need you.
Help us, please, oh Lord. We need you today. What is this we have to face? Remove us now from this place. You said if we call, you wouldn't let us fall. Please, oh Lord, take us from it all. We need you, Lord. Come in, please save us, Lord. We don't know what else to do. We're tired now. We're calling you. We need you. We need you, Lord. Come in, please save us, Lord. We don't know what else to do. We're tired now. We're calling you.
We need you, Lord.
Crying down to you. Help us heal this land.
Nothing else to do.
Nothing else to do.
We'll follow your command.
Follow your command.
We will turn.
We will turn from
Lord, our wicked ways.
Oh, our wicked ways.
Help us, please, Yah.
Help us, please, oh Lord.
We need you today,
We
Yah.
need you today.
Hallelujah.
Woo, hallelujah. Yes. Yes. Hallelujah. All praise to your power. Yes. All right.
Seek the Lord, oh, seek the Lord. Seek the Lord, oh, seek the Lord.
When you're gonna seek him,
the Lord,
seek
oh,
him.
seek the Lord. Seek the Lord, oh, seek the Lord.
When you're gonna seek him,
the Lord,
seek
oh,
him.
seek the Lord. Seek the Lord, oh, seek the Lord.
Seek out the Lord.
If you always have a problem,
Seek out the Lord.
only Yah can really solve them.
Seek out the Lord.
In everything that you do,
Seek out the Lord.
so that Yah can help you. You march up in these streets thinking that you can can make a change. It seems you have forgotten to call on Yahweh's name. All this oppression is because of what you did not do. You ran to other gods thinking that they could save you.
But it really didn't work for ya. Really, really didn't work for ya.
No, it didn't, no.
But it really didn't work for ya. Really, really didn't work for ya. Seek out the Lord.
If you always have a problem,
Seek out the Lord.
only you can really solve them.
Seek out the Lord.
In everything that you do,
Seek out the Lord.
only Yah can help you. You're hidden in prison houses, oh yes, that was the plan.
The plan.
Keep you locked away so that you can't be priestly men.
Yah's men.
Everything you created, it has the face of someone else.
Someone else.
But you still hope and pray that the oppressor will surely help.
But it really didn't work for ya. Really, really didn't work for ya.
No, it didn't, no.
But it really didn't work for ya. Really, really didn't work for ya. Seek out the Lord.
Come on, choir. If you always got a problem,
Seek out the Lord.
only Yah can really solve them.
Seek out the Lord.
In everything that you do,
Seek out the Lord.
so that Yah can help you.
Don't turn your back on him. Know that he's here. But seek him first when your problems appear. You have to repent and call on his name so that he can come
And remove those chains.
Seek out the
Come on, y'all.
Lord.
If you always have a problem,
Seek out the Lord.
only Yah can really solve them.
Seek out the Lord.
In everything that you do,
Seek out the Lord.
so that he can help you.
Seek the Lord, oh,
Come on, fellas.
seek the Lord. Seek the Lord, oh, seek the
When
Lord.
you're gonna seek him,
the Lord,
seek
oh,
him.
seek the Lord. Seek the Lord, oh, seek the
When
Lord.
you're gonna
seek
seek him,
the Lord,
seek
oh,
him.
seek the
Ooh,
Lord.
yeah.
Seek the Lord, oh, seek the
When you're
Lord.
gonna
Seek
seek him,
the Lord,
seek
oh,
him.
seek the Lord. Seek the Lord, oh, seek the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Great job, choir. Yes, sir. Praise Yahweh. Give us just a moment. We will get the room prepared for the service. Hallelujah. How's that sound coming out, saints? Everything look good? Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Check 1, 2, 3, 4.
Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, Shabbat Shalom, sisters and brothers.
Shalom.
I want to welcome you to another Shabbat of the Most High Yah here with the Multitude of Christ Ministry in Richardson, Texas. My name is Pastor Johnny, and my reader today will be Brother Michael. And sisters and brothers, we are going to embark on a 5 to 7 week journey on our history. Some of you deem it Black History Month, but there's really no need for a Black History Month because no other nation has their own month.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would give up our whole month in order to get our human rights that we deserve. Not civil rights, our human rights that we deserve as human beings. I would give up this whole month just to have that. But sisters and brothers, we're going to go in from the Bible's perspective. We're going to go from the beginning all the way to current day to find out the true identity and the true information around our history. This is part 1. It is entitled The Chosen and the Scattered. Our history, part 1, The Chosen and the Scattered. But before we get started, we always open up with a word of prayer. I encourage you to like, share, subscribe, invite your family members and friends that know that it is the Shabbat of the Most High Yah, that don't have anywhere to worship, to tune in to the Multitude of Christ. You're also invited to come and dwell and have a holy convocation with us here in person, right? Try those fruits of the Spirit, right? Come to a place where you can intimately get your questions answered, right? You could feel like a member of the congregation and not a number. You are welcome here to the Multitude of Christ Ministry here in the Richardson, Texas area. So we're going to get right into it. A lot of information. I could have had a 10, 12 part. I could have went 2, 3, 4 months with all the information, but just trying to compact it into a few weeks is very, very difficult. But this is the information that I have gathered through all of my study that I would like to share with you guys in hopes that, it edifies you and you are able to use this information in your journey. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So, Brother Mike, open us up with a word of prayer, and then we'll get right into it, sisters and brothers. Go ahead.
Our Yahweh, Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we come to you humbling ourselves, saying thank you for allowing us yet again to see your Sabbath day.
Yeah.
The day that you set apart and made holy, the day that we are commanded to keep, so that we would know that you are our God and we are your people. We thank you.
Thank you.
We ask that you forgive us for sins that we may have committed unknowingly. We only know in part, but the part that we do know, we want to make sure that we are doing right. And we know that you will bring and edify us on the rest.
Yes.
Yahweh, I ask that you be with those that had a mind to be here with us today that could not make it. Be with them and edify them and uplift them on your Sabbath day so that they don't fall astray. We ask that you be with us here. Let your Ruach pour down on us so that your people may be edified through my reading. And I ask that you allow me to read boldly.
Yes.
And I ask that you allow Pastor to deliver the words that you have placed on his heart to give to his people so that we may be edified. In the mighty name of Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Brothers and sisters, I ask that also the Most High decrease me and increase his Ruach in this room, throughout Brother Mike, throughout everyone watching. I just ask that his spirit go forth and allow us to understand what we are hearing, to remember it, and to apply it to our lives so that we may be stronger and stronger and smarter and wiser. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So let's get into this series. So I know I have 5 parts out here, but I as my invitation and our marketing went forward, man, I probably go 7 weeks straight. I mean, we're gonna go right into the new year of Yahweh. We're just gonna dig deep. We're gonna put the information out there, and we're gonna let brothers and sisters scattered across the ends of the earth do with it as they will. But the next series we will go, right now it's the chosen, the scattered, and next week we're gonna go into scattered and dispersed, and then we're gonna go into the others carried away, the others who carried us away, and we're gonna go into the hidden and the lost, finally the prophecy to redeem the chosen, and then we're gonna be, at that time, we're gonna be in the 20th, 21st century. So we're gonna dig deep, and we're gonna go in deep, and we're gonna put some information that may be shocking. It's gonna be information you may already know, and it may be in hopes a piece of the puzzle that moves you a little bit further in your journey. So let's get started, brother. Get me in the Apocrypha. Let's start in the Apocrypha, 2nd Esdras. Yeah, 2nd Esdras. You know, I saw a debate last night, and it doesn't surprise me that theologians and apologists, different Christian sects, would try to totally discredit Esdras, right? Which is the Greek word for Ezra, right? So it would make sense they would try to throw it out because it's too much information, right? You'll start to see now, as the more wiser you'll get, you'll start to see how people are starting to pick and choose their walk with the Most High, right? What books they want, what scriptures they want. If it don't make money, they not trying to read from it.
Right.
But the real children of the Most High Yah, we putting it all on the table. You should be the one rightfully discerning what you read, what is true and what is false, what is spiritual and what is carnal, what was added and what was taken away.
Absolutely.
If you don't got no relationship with the Most High yourself, I mean, I don't even understand why you are wielding this sword. I went into it on Wednesday. It's about a personal relationship, not a personal relationship with me, the pastor, not a personal relationship with the man of God in the church. You got to have a personal relationship with the Most High, the Heavenly Father. You can't get to him without going through his son, the scriptures say.
That's right.
So let that be in your mind as we move forward. This title of this part of the series, part 1, is The Chosen and the Scattered. It was so much information about scattered that I wanted to do. I just kind of merged them in, you know, like part 1, 2, could have been a third, but I just said, okay, maybe next year, right? My wife was saying, don't try to give it all at once, right? Save something and just better the lesson as the years go on. So 2nd Ezra chapter 6, my brother. We're going to pick it up right from the beginning, right? We're going to go from the beginning to the end of the chosen, and then we're going to go from the beginning to the end of the scattered and dispersed, and then we're going to really get in deep. We're going to go so far back in the Bible, and we're going to bring it right up to present day, right?
Yes,
many people are going through this whole month. They just trying to talk about today back to the middle of the 1800s. That's about as far as they knowledge and they want to go. We don't exist before 1850 or 1830. I mean, Negro, I can't tell you where you came from. That's what you get in most of the churches. My whole life, I mean, that's about all, right? And even when I go and do my own research, man, somebody has did a great job hiding information, because you get into them 1800s and after that, poof, you disappear. You don't. Your great-great-great-great-great-great grandpeople don't exist. But you had to have come from somewhere.
Yes.
But we're going to get into it, sister and brother. But let's start in the beginning. We can all agree on Adam, and then we can all agree on Noah, right?
Yes, sir.
But let's see what the scriptures have to say about Adam. Go ahead. Verse 54, 54 to 58.
And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all.
We agree. We all come from Adam. Go ahead.
And the people also whom thou hast chosen,
The people of what?
And the people also whom thou hast chosen.
You got all, and you got people chosen. Remember that. Put that in your notes. All people chosen. Go ahead.
All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
For all sake or for the chosen sake?
For the chosen sake.
I want y'all to write that down. Did he make the whole world for all people or the chosen people? Just put that in the back of your head. And as we go through these series, these answers will come to you like a speeding bullet. Boom! Mm-hmm. Hit you right in the center of mass, center of forehead. Go ahead. 56.
As for the other people.
As for the other people, go ahead. Wait a minute. The other all, because we come, all of us come from him, from Adam, but there's a chosen. So the world was made for the chosen, but as for the rest of the all, go ahead.
Which also come of Adam.
Right.
Thou hast said that they are nothing.
Did Ezra say it, or did the Most High say it?
The Most High said.
The Most High said what? They are?
They are nothing.
Okay.
But be like unto spittle.
Unto what?
Unto spittle.
You know the most disrespectful thing you can do on this planet is spit on somebody.
Man.
It's not even no question. Is it a fake? You want to talk about smoke?
Man.
You want to talk immediate smoke? Immediate? See, even saying the N word is not really immediate.
Nuh-uh.
But man, if you spit on me, or if you spit on anybody I know, that is immediate disrespect at the highest level. And the Most High God said the other people are what? As unto
spittle.
They are nothing but spit. They are nothing to him. The other people. Because out of all people, he chose his family of people. I don't care what kind of speech you call it, but you read it in the book. You can read.
Right.
Huh?
Right. Read.
They can read, right? They comprehend.
Yeah.
My daddy used to say back, I remember hey, you comprendo? You comprende? Do you understand what is being read?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And has likened the abundance of them unto a drop.
Now not only have they like spit, but now he's likening them as to a what?
A drop that falleth from a vessel.
If you got a full vessel of water, you know how in Africa or in the Middle East, they walk with that water in their head and they spilling water over, but they got to get to their destination with at least 3/4 of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you might spill 1/4 of it, right? But you need to have a almost full vessel when you show up, because the other water is consolary. It's gonna happen, right? It's gonna happen that water is nothing to you. Just get there with enough water to feed the village.
Yeah.
So we could cook, so we can make a pot of stew, right? Don't come with less than enough. But what he's saying is that extra water that falleth out of the bucket,
you only a drop.
it's nothing. It's nothing to the Most High, because what is in the vessel is his chosen. That's what matters. Go ahead, verse 57.
And now, O Lord, behold these heathen which are ever being reputed.
Wait a minute. Finish that to the comma.
As nothing.
Wait a minute. So now, out of all we come from Adam, he chose his people out of all that come from Adam. The world is for them. Then the other people are as nothing, or as spit, or as the drop that falleth out of a vessel. You get into verse 57, he's saying those other people are the heathen, are the stranger, are the Gentile. Why do you think everybody wants to be Israel? I mean, everybody wants to be Israel. I know that Israel is in the ends of the earth, the four corners of the earth, right? The ends of the world, they are there. But I'm talking about the people that know for a fact they ain't Israel. They not even try to do it by flesh. They've even gotten so Looney Tune, they say, now there's spiritual Israel. And then the ones that are past cuckoo, that are like, that need to be destroyed, have now said the children of Israel don't matter anymore.
So out of the whole Bible, you reading chosen, 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 even to the end when you get into Revelation, right? Israel is going to be gathered first. You still got people out here saying, Israel rejected God, so he rejected them, and he chose all people? Whoa, Ruach, I don't know where that came from. That was good. That gave me a chill.
Man.
Now the people on the earth is saying, this God who just said, I chose a people out of all people, and those other people are as spittle or as a drop of a bucket, they are the heathen. Now the heathen is saying this same God has chosen them. And everybody else that would call upon the name of his son. Man, ain't that something? I wish I had a real country saying right then. But boy, ain't that something? That now the heathen is making the rules, and they now say Israel is no more. I know they on the earth, but don't worry about them, because it's about spiritual Israel. The Most High has chosen the Christian church, right? The Most High, he died for the world of all people. But I don't read that in no scripture. I don't read it, and most people that believe it can't find it in scripture. Start 57 again. So now we understand who these heathen are. They everybody except the chosen from the beginning. Go ahead.
And now, O Lord, behold these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing.
That have ever, from the beginning of ever, been reputed as nothing. Go ahead.
Have begun to be lords over us.
Oh, they are now our masters and our colonizers and our lords all over the world. Go ahead.
And to devour us.
They doing what to us?
Devour us.
They devouring us. They are killing us. They are snatching us off the streets. 64,000 plus young girls missing. Missing since I started getting instant messages and social media sent to me like last October or whatever. But I think back then it was like 44,000 missing. Now the numbers just keep growing. People are missing off the planet, and nobody gives two blinks of an eye about it. Huh? 64,000 plus little girls missing, but everybody crying and boo-hooing because Kobe passed. Everybody don't want to go to work. I mean, our idol, our God on earth has passed away, but ain't none of you crying out about them 64,000 little girls missing, and the majority of the information was coming from D.C., but now it's coming from Chicago.
Yeah.
Why so much a cry out for one person? Because he was a star? The Most High said don't have no respect to person. But man, we know respect to person is big on this earth, even in the church.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Rabbit hole, forgive me. But they are devouring us. Verse 58.
But we thy people.
But we what?
Thy people.
There is a thy people. And thy people can't be all people, or else scripture doesn't make sense. This whole book, you might well throw it away. If all people apply to this book and this God, you might well throw this book away. It is a sham. But we know for a fact, this book is talking about a chosen people, a thy people, that the Most High God that created all things gathered out of the sons of Adam. We know it. Unless you own some cultist, kooky, and past kooky. You know what I mean? You've made the word of God of none effect. You've made your own righteousness and you're making up your own Bible. That's what's going on. Now the heathen is making up his own laws and commandments. He made up his own God, gave him his own God a picture. He made his God look like him.
Yeah, he did.
And now he told me and you to be crazy, right? Insanity is keep doing something or believing in something over and over, right? But man, a lot of us was devoured in the name of that image that they say represents this Bible. But that's what the heathens have done.
Yes, sir.
58.
But we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn.
Go ahead, hold another lesson.
Thy only begotten.
Thy only begotten.
And thy fervent lover. Are given into their hands.
Are given into the hands of the heathen, the other people, the spittle, the nothing to the Most High. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna play math. All right. You got 0.
Mm-hmm.
You add 5 billion to 0, you got how much? You add 5 billion to 0, you got 5 billion. But how could you get 5 billion out of 0?
You can't.
See how all y'all answered that? You can't start with nothing and add something. The other people are nothing, although they've grown. You can't take nothing and now be the children of God.
Mm-hmm.
But the nothing is now saying they are everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the chosen people, thy people, are no more. You can't find them.
Yeah.
And guess what? Ain't nobody looking for them.
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden, the nothing to the Most High has now exalted itself and become the everything.
Mm-hmm.
And his everything, you can't find it. And when people come up, pull up, and stand up and say, I am his people, now the heathen, the other, and even his chosen people reject it.
Man.
58, one more time. Thy people.
But we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn.
He called us, he chose us out of all the sons of Adam, out of all that Adam was over. Go ahead.
The only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world?
We're going to get into why we don't possess this world that was given into the hands of the chosen. Man, I could go 7 weeks, but the answer is right in the beginning of the series. You can't forget these scriptures. Chosen out of all people, but now you can't find them chosen. Now everybody's a chosen.
Yeah.
Let's get back into 66 books. Get Exodus chapter 19.
One last piece of this.
Oh,
passage.
58, go ahead, finish
Yes,
it.
sir. How long shall this endure?
How long shall it endure? That's a good question you need to try to answer during this series too. How long is it supposed to, how long are we supposed to be devoured? How long are we supposed to be in the hands of the heathen, the nothing, the nobodies? We killing each other, we crabs in a barrel, choking each other out, and we not even understanding who we are.
Yeah.
And what is our importance to the entire world? Let's look at our importance to the entire world that was given to us. Exodus chapter 19. Let's go to Exodus chapter 19.
Yes, sir.
Exodus chapter 19. And I just want you to read me, let's just get right to the point. Let's just go 5 through 8. You can read the rest on your own, sisters and brothers, but many of you know this passage. Exodus chapter 19, start at verse 5, brother.
Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people.
All people.
For all the earth is mine.
Stop. Okay, so now we in this book, right? And we found some more people that are peculiar treasure above all people, for all the earth is the Lord's.
Yes, sir.
But he's telling them they have to obey and keep his covenant.
Yes, sir.
Go up to verse 1. Let's get context, see who the people is. I don't want you to be confused. You might think we're talking about the Philistines, the Midianites, the Canaan. I want you to be clear who we're talking about. What verse 1 say?
In the 3rd month, when the children of Israel.
The who?
The children of Israel.
You could drop that. All right, now you know who we talking about, right? Talking about the same people Esdras was talking about. Verse 6, go ahead.
And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests.
Oh, wait a minute. What do the priests do? These children of Israel, at this point, we're talking about the entire nation, the entire kindred of people. If they obeyed and if they kept his covenant, they would not only be a peculiar treasure, but they would also be a
kingdom of priests. Remember, I'm going to read something here in a little bit, and you're going to be like, oh, that ain't right. That ain't right. But I'm just in context. We walking this thing down. I want to show you who the chosen is before we get into all of this historical and all of these things that maybe got you salivating and you waiting on. But it ain't going to make sense if you can't put the puzzle together. Because they put a great gulf of lies in between the truth within history. Not our story, but his story, the heathen story.
Mm-hmm.
And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests. Go ahead.
And an holy nation.
Man, this peculiar people is the only holy nation. I don't know where all the world, I don't know where all nations are now trying to be holy. You know, holy means sanctified, meaning separate. Meaning, if he've already chose you, let me get the illustration. If he've already chosen a nation out of all nations, how could now these other nations now say they are all chosen? But he already chose a people out of all nations. See the illustration? Get that in your head to break that spell off your mind. How could now all these other people that he called nothing now say that they are holy? I want to just stop and just pinpoint that, right? Because that word holy is a big word that everybody throws around. And holy means set apart, sanctified unto me, unto Yah, unto the Father. He pulled them out of all people unto him. Those other people are nothing. Now these other people are saying he drew them. Man, find that in the scripture where he drew another holy people unto him. Go ahead, brother.
These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel.
The Lord told Moses, and Moses told the people. This whole book is about these Israelite people.
Mm-hmm.
No argument. Everything else is dogma, doctrine, lies of Satan.
Mm-hmm.
You know it is, but in your head, I mean, it just makes me feel comfortable. I mean, why can't everybody be joined in? Because he said so. I didn't separate Israel out of all the people. The Heavenly Father did that. Why are you placing blame and calling everybody derogatory words and terms except the one who did it? It said here clearly, these are the words that ye shall speak unto the children of Israel. Who is this speaking to Moses?
Mm-hmm.
Don't be mad at Moses. All you hear is people, the old Mosaic law, the old Levitical law, the old, hey, who was talking to Moses? And who was, when Moses talked to Aaron, who told Moses to tell Aaron? You mad at the Levitical law, you mad at Moses, but you ain't mad at the person who told him to tell you. Interesting. Verse 7.
And Moses came and called for the elders of the people,
and
laid before their faces all these words which the Lord commanded him.
Oh, there you go. Lord commanded Moses. Go ahead.
And all the people answered together and said,
What'd they say?
All that the Lord has spoken we will do. And Moses returned the words of the people unto the Lord.
Listen, that's a contract. That's the covenant. That's the agreement. We read in verse 5, he said, what? Keep my covenant. And now in verse 8, he's explaining the covenant that many of you New Testament, you new Christians, this new doctrine of the Bible, you don't want to do all this book says anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has come along through seminary school and taught you something different, right? I heard a brother tell me earlier that somebody told him that John the Baptist came teaching new laws and commandments. I was like, man, come on. What is being smoked? It's something else in this weed. I mean, weed ain't just weed no more. I mean, these people out here, man, that crack ain't crack no more. I mean, the stuff people smoking and popping in church to keep woke, because, you know, most people sleeping in church. But, I mean, this is the covenant agreement of the chosen people, that all the things that Moses told us, that the Lord told him, we will do. Now go take that back to the Lord. So many of y'all, especially in Christianity, I mean, we're not really dealing with anything outside of the
the people that keep the law, statutes, and commandments, but there's people wielding this book that don't want to keep the commandments, but you keep the commandments. It doesn't make sense that somebody be like, man, the law's done away with, they're under the blood, and then they be like, okay, so I can commit adultery with your wife? No. I can steal from you? No. But you just said you don't got to keep the law, but yet you do keep the law.
Yeah.
I told you, there's some kookiness going on out here in the word. You doing it, but you don't know you doing it because the lie is so, that Harry Potter is so stuck on your brain, you know internally that it's wrong and you don't want to allow it to happen to you, but you don't want to be bound to it in word.
Right.
But the scriptures say in word and deed.
In word and deed.
Ain't that crazy? Indeed, you won't allow it to happen, but when somebody come tell you, man, you gotta keep them laws, statutes, commandments. No. But wait a minute, you will not allow, you don't like people holding grudges against you. You don't like people lying on you. Man, that's in the commandments. Huh? Then you say, love thy neighbor. That's in the commandments.
Yeah.
I'm confused that you would keep the commandments but not know and not use the word and terminology to explain your conduct or behavior. It's called laws, statutes, and commandments. Where did it come from? The Old Testament you say is done away with. Your pastors can't teach you without using the Old Testament. They can't teach you in spirit and in truth. But I digress. Let's keep moving. Deuteronomy chapter 7. Let's keep going, brother. Deuteronomy chapter 7. Man, we ain't in 3 scriptures, man.
Yeah, that's all right.
This
We asked for the Ruach to pour down.
Hey, this ain't good, brother. We only on 3 scriptures, man.
Right.
It's been an hour, man. It's been like 40.
Hey, man, the Ruach gonna do what the Ruach
Brother, you supposed to keep me in line, man. You're enjoying the conversation, man. We supposed to be putting these scriptures out here.
You ain't did nothing wrong, Pastor.
All right, my brother. Deuteronomy chapter 7, man. Deuteronomy 7, man. Verse 6 through 8. Go ahead. Listen to it. Here go another witness. Go ahead.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Who this holy people? I guarantee it's somebody out here arguing because there can only be one holy people. Just like all the women. Oh, girl, how you doing? I'm blessed and highly favored. Oh, contraire, mon frere. There's only one blessed and highly favored woman, and she bared your Messiah.
Yeah.
Huh? But boy, you in the church, girl, I'm blessed, I'm highly favored. No, you ain't. You are not. You were not found worthy. Listen, look at my face. You were not found worthy to bear the Messiah out your womb. Stop it. Stop being crazy now. Go ahead.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Uh-huh.
The Lord thy God had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Above what?
Above all people.
How many times you need to see that? I ain't making this up. That's why all the other people want to be the people because, man, who doesn't want to be chosen? Who doesn't want to be thy people? Go ahead.
That are upon the face of the earth.
Go ahead, verse 7.
The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you.
Go ahead.
Because you were more in number than any people.
And this is what I want Israel that know they Israel. I want you to remember this, brother and sisters. Listen, he didn't choose us because we were great in number, as we are still not great in number now.
Mm-hmm.
But he said when he come back, we're going to be like the sand of the sea. Mm-hmm. We're a mighty number, but we don't have to be the greatest number of all people, especially at that time. Because 70 people went into Egypt. How many came out? Oh, you great, 600,000 men.
600,000
Not counting the women and children. Boy, that was a good quiz. You did good. Give yourself a hand clap. You knew that, sister and brother. We weren't a great in number, but he chose us out of all the people on the earth. Go ahead.
For ye were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved you.
He did what?
Because the Lord loved you.
He didn't choose us because we was going to be a great and mighty nation then.
No, he said he loved us. He loved us.
He came and pulled us out of Egypt. He didn't pull us out because we was great.
Because he loved us.
I mean, we went from 70 to 600,000, maybe 1 million people. I mean,
that's love.
Come on, brother. We did that right up under the Egyptians' noses, man. We ain't great. That ain't why he pulled us out.
No, sir.
He pulled us out. Why?
Because he loved us.
Man, y'all got to stop being disrespectful. Huh? Y'all just want him to love you and you don't want to give that love back. What kind of relationship is that? Your sins, because many of you don't want to keep the agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Even though somebody like me would tell you there's an agreement, oh no, it's under the blood. That makes 1 and 1 together and get 2. Or you're going to get 1 and 1 and get 5. You're going to get confused. Well, I heard what my pastor said. Well, man, read. Be quiet. Read. This was the requirements of the children of Israel. To keep what? Their nation holy. Holy means separate from everybody else. Watch this. Go ahead.
Now these are the commandments,
Uh-huh.
the statutes, and the judgments which the Lord your God commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither you go to possess it,
Uh-huh.
that thou mightest fear the Lord thy God.
Wait a minute. You had Deuteronomy 7?
Oh, you said, I'm sorry, I went to 6.
No, I'm sorry. Go up to verse 1.
Okay.
Deuteronomy 7 and 1.
Which, when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess
Wait,
it.
they ain't there yet.
Mm-mm.
See, some of y'all want to get to the kingdom of heaven and you don't want to follow the instructions now. But he always sent his shepherds and he sent his men to teach you the way so that you can prepare yourself before you get there, lest you get there and destroy yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And has cast out many nations before thee.
Uh-huh.
The Hittites.
Who we throw out?
The Hittites.
So there's some people already in that land that he given us. Huh. Got to have a mighty hand. He had to have a mighty hand to bring you out of Egypt, and you better have a mighty hand to go take somebody's house from them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello? Hey, this is Israel. This is my house. Get out.
Yeah.
Boy, you better have the power. You better have the power of the Most High behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? And these people knew that they was coming.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Because Abraham was there before. Abraham got the covenants. They knew about this Abrahamic covenant, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the Hittites got to go. Go ahead.
And the Girgashites.
Uh-huh.
And the Amorites.
Uh-huh.
And the Canaanites.
Yep.
And the Perizzites.
Uh-huh.
And the Hivites.
Uh-huh.
And the Jebusites.
Go ahead.
7 nations greater than and mightier than thou.
Why everybody, when you start talking about the Exodus, why everybody always talk about Canaan? Man, it was 7 nations uprooted.
Yeah. 7.
Got to go, bro.
Gotta get out of there.
Completely is what he said. But you know, we hard-headed. But he was uprooting 7 nations for his holy and chosen people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think those 7 people, I'm pretty sure there's somebody that's descended from one of them 7. You know what they saying today? We the holy people.
We the people.
Look at my face. I'm sure there's some descendant of one of these 7 nations today claiming to be a Christian, saying they spiritual Israel, and they the chosen people of God. Bro, you are descended from the 7 nations he kicked out.
Yeah. You uprooted.
How you chosen but kicked out? You come back, you was nothing, but now you come back, you something.
Something for nothing equals something. Man.
Back then he didn't want you. Now you saying in the future,
I'm chosen.
I'm chosen. Come on, people. Wake up. Go ahead.
And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee,
The Most High delivered them.
yes, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them.
And do what? Utterly.
Utterly
Go
destroy
ahead.
them.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt make no covenant with them.
Don't make no treaties and no agreements. Follow me, man. By the time we get through with this series, you're going to see that we've been doing contrary to what the Most High said from the beginning, from Egypt. Stop making agreements with the heathen. Stop making agreements with your enemy because you're scary. You know what our leaders are doing right now up in Congress and all over our city, in our city councils? You know what they're doing? Making treaties that you don't even know and you don't even care. They're making agreements with people and you're walking around like you free. Oh, everything good. And somebody up there made an agreement that you probably don't. Hey, I ain't tell you to do that. I didn't tell them I was going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody put us in a position that we're in. Somebody's representing us And many of us sticking in our four walls and in our little cliques and our little groups, and we not questioning and holding to the fire the people that have self-appointed themselves. You hear me? Self-appointed themselves to do what? Making these covenants with people that the Most High told us not to even deal with. Go ahead.
Nor show mercy unto them.
No what?
Mercy unto them.
Man, they got something in our water, man. I'm telling you, stop drinking fluoride. I mean, you need to get water tests, test your water. You need to test your food and send it off. Man, there is definitely something going on in our food and in our water that got us so docile and merciful. But right over the pond, over the Atlantic Ocean, man, they are going to war and they are fighting with no weapons.
Man.
Because people are trying to represent them that don't have no business representing them, making it worse for them. Because the person that's representing us is taking all the money. They asked for $12 trillion. The person representing us took 10 of it. It don't leave nothing for the people. So we got people representing the people, taking all the resources. Go ahead.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
So the Israelites weren't supposed to make marriages with Hittites, Girgashites, Amorites,
Nope.
Canaanites,
No, sir.
Perizzites, Hivites, Jebusites.
That's right.
Listen, these is all the children of Ham.
Yes.
Don't make marriages with Ham. But now somebody told us it was a repatriation and we need to run back to the land of Ham. And guess what happened if a whole bunch of Israel run back to the people that sold them over here?
Don't sell us again.
You're going to be breaking this commandment again. Doing what? Making marriages with the children of Ham. Go ahead.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Uh-huh.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son.
You women right now dealing with all these heathens and all these other Gentiles, man, you wrong. Oh, ain't no good black men out here. Man. Hey, you might not be right. And if that heathen and that Gentile knew how you was just hustling him, he would kick you out too. But he looking at that tail feather. You got him mesmerized. You walking around, driving back in the hood. Yeah, my man got me that. What man? Oh, okay. Y'all bragging, man. Got y'all heathen spouses on there just bragging on social media. But you are destroying your nation evermore. Don't give your daughters to their sons. Go ahead.
Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
And our sons ain't supposed to take on the heathens. I don't care if it is the sea lion comes through the male. You still ain't supposed to be sleeping with them women. But you know what Israel is doing?
Doing it.
Taking their heathen wives. They like sleeping with their maid servants. Because we was in rulership, right? And you go down the line, Israel got a whole bunch of Canaanite, Perizzite, Hittite, Jebusite, especially Egypt. Especially Egypt. But the Lord delivered you from Egypt, but you're going right back there.
To get the women.
Can't get enough. Hey, them Egyptians is wild, right? Read Leviticus 18. Them Egyptians is nasty, man. They do whatever.
They are.
That's why he had to put a whole commandment, a whole chapter. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't sleep with your sons. Don't sleep with dogs.
Thy son don't sleep with your uncover your mother's nakedness.
Stop playing around with goats.
Man,
It's Satanists, man. It's Satan worship, man. That stuff been going on. Goats, dogs, cats.
Yeah.
These people just ain't purring and petting them. These people doing unseemly things.
What they say?
It's in the book.
They love them.
But it's in the book.
It's in the book.
It's in there, right?
It's in there.
That means people been doing it thousands of years.
Yeah.
Still doing it.
Yeah.
Don't give your daughter to them, and your sons don't deal with them.
That's right.
I didn't say it. You could be mad at me, though. I got thick skin. I've been alone a long time on my own. I've dealt with my ups and downs, right? I've dealt with my level of abuse. I can handle a lot, right? But I'm reading this holy Biblos,
Yep.
this holy Biblos that y'all reverence every Sunday. But y'all in like the stratospheres with it, huh? Y'all like y'all pastor get up there dancing, shucking, huffing, and you ain't heard nothing. He know it. He practiced all week to make sure you ain't heard nothing I said. Get the light show. Hit the organ. Huh? Hey, Sister Jones, you know you're supposed to roll out in the aisle now. Huh? Pass out. Oh, somebody pass out. Call it. It's a whole show. You don't know what's going on. You're like, this is exciting. It's just like a soap opera, ain't it?
Yeah.
Your Sunday service is just like these reality TV shows. Huh?
Yeah.
Verse 4. Go ahead.
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
This is one example. Listen. The heathen, the other people in Israel. Listen, I could go, it might be in another lesson, but I can go in the Apocrypha and show you that anybody that's not Israel is a Gentile, heathen, and a stranger to the Most High. But right here, we're giving an example of the people that were right there in the land of Israel that was given to the chosen people. We're talking about them right now, but you know it expanded.
Yeah.
The stranger and the heathen and the nothing was everybody on the earth. Didn't it say the whole world is mine? So that's everybody that would have been on that earth. I don't care what kingdom you bring up. Samaria, I don't care where you go in the world. If they wasn't the children of Israel,
You was nothing.
they was nothing. They were the heathen.
Spittle.
They were the Goyim, the other nation, other than who? Israel. That's the only nation that matters. That's the only holy people that was given to the world. They're the ones that's being hidden today. Start from the top, brother, verse 4.
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
So if you marry him, if you marry somebody that's not of your people, you different. You definitely ain't acting right. I've even seen people with other nations, they try to be so super black. I am so pro. No, you're not. No, you're not. You doing that to supplement something in your head that's saying, this ain't right.
This ain't right.
At some point, you slept with that strange person and they let you know. You either caught them in there with their altars and their gods. You were making some kind of compromise in your own house. Guaranteed fact. Y'all are not on the same level. In your extended families, they not joined like that. They're not joined like that. Because from the beginning of time, the Most High separated. I don't want to get ahead too far ahead, but we ain't supposed to be like that kumbaya.
Yeah.
Bad problems happen when all the nations get together and be like, let's have one God, one government, one ruler. Whoa.
One nation under God, huh?
Hey, you want him to come back quick? Yeah, let's go ahead and do some universal. Yeah, let's just bring that order together, man. It's gonna bring swift
They're
destruction.
gonna look around. Oh, your house.
Huh? Why you thinking they playing around with it? They already got all this stuff in place. They ain't went and done it because they know it's the end.
Yeah.
It's the end of it. Soon as they do it and they make the Most High people subject them to that, it's over. He coming just like he did before.
Hallelujah.
Go ahead, brother.
For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly.
Listen, why would the holy, peculiar kingdom of priests set apart from all other nations? Why are we hidden now? Why are we devoured now? Why are we in the hands of the heathen now? That part right there. Our hearts have been turned from God. We have angered him. And he's going to do what? Destroy us. He's destroying us. I'm mad at my forefathers, but hey, I'm going to place the blame right where it did go, our forefathers.
Yeah.
Because God already put it on the table. Obey, you'll be blessed. Disobey, I'm going to be angry because I'm jealous. I'm going to destroy you.
Gonna destroy you.
Ain't that what it say right there?
That's what it said.
I'm going to destroy you suddenly.
Suddenly, he said.
So one thing you don't want to do is go off with your, you can marry who you want, right? I can marry who I want. Love is love. But man, as soon as they turn your heart from God, you're going to have swift destruction in your home.
That's it.
You start putting in Buddhas, oh, dum-dum, ring, dum-dum. You start wearing all these beads. You see people in all these beads, all these taluses and crucifixes. Rap. It's a rap. You done. Go ahead, verse 5. Man, we still in just fourth place.
That's all right,
Verse 5.
guys. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars.
How we supposed to deal with any strange nation? Man, you got to take the lessons when you gleaning in these scriptures. How we supposed to deal with them?
Tear down their altar.
Turn down all their altars. Listen, what the conversation going? Oh, well, I would love at first sight. We got married. We jumped the broom. You get in the house. Now she in there. Like, hey, you didn't know she was worshiping and involved in all of this blood sacrificing in the backyard. You know, you got this whole closet, smoke coming out. You open it up and like, whoa. You got pentagrams in the third bedroom, huh? She got all kind of devilish stuff in the attic.
They say come home.
In your basement. She got a big old pentagram
everywhere.
down there with candles. You like, I don't, you know. I don't know what's going on right here. You know what I'm saying? You start speaking up, and then she be like, shut up, eat the spaghetti. Don't eat that spaghetti.
Eat that spaghetti.
Don't eat that spaghetti.
Eat that spaghetti.
You better leave her quick.
Get that to the dog.
Because we wasn't supposed to deal with them like that. You were supposed to destroy their altars.
Yes.
Not take them.
Destroy.
Here go Israel right there. We don't kick down the door. Boom! Set it on fire. Wait, let's go. Hey, them diamonds. Get the water. Get the water. We need to get them diamonds up out of here first. Huh? Hey, that boy, them Steve Harvey suits over. We got to get them suits first. Hey, man, that's silk right there. We got to get that. And women like, hey, look at them red bottoms. Whoa. Don't destroy that house right there. Say that building for last. We need to plunder that. Yeah, I know the Most High said, we're going to destroy them, but hold on, we need to get a couple things, man, because they got some nice clothes up in here. You know what I'm saying? Them Jebusites, boy, I like the way their earrings, I mean, them bamboo, they got the baguettes around there. Hold up. This girl right here was dressing, man. You were supposed to do what? Destroy all the altars. Go ahead.
And break down their images.
All the images. Nah, man, that's all gold. We got to take that and melt that down. Yeah. Man, we're supposed to destroy that. Go ahead.
And cut down their groves.
And cut down all their little groves that they like going in and praying and doing all their little rituals. Go ahead.
And burn their graven images with fire.
And do what?
Burn their graven images, with fire.
You know, one of the biggest crafts right now, I mean, you can go on YouTube, man, all over the world, it don't matter what country, it's men out there, boy, that cut off a log from the tree, and they will make a whole image of their God, right? They'll make that Molech, that Remphan, they'll put Baal, you want me to make you a Jesus? I'll make you a statue of Jesus for you. I don't want you to make me nothing.
Mm-mm.
But, man, it's still a major practice in the world today. Man, I just found out not long ago, man, I thought the statue of Jesus in Brazil was the biggest. I found out that wasn't even the biggest statue of Jesus in the world. Mm-hmm. They got another one overseas, man. I forgot where it was. It's bigger than that one. Mm-hmm. But that one in Brazil, they hold that popular, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's a tourist attraction. But there's one bigger than that.
There's one underwater that's bigger than that.
Man, they put that image all over the world. Mm-hmm. But, we don't get to Jesus till, 15th, 16th century, right? Yeah. With them big images, right? Painting and changing, stringy hair, blue eye. Yeah, see, that changes later in history. But everything that goes against the scripture is supposed to be destroyed. Mm-hmm. Second requirement, let's go to chapter 10, Deuteronomy chapter 10. So what was applied to that group of people, I want you to put in your notes, is going to apply to all the strange and heathen people that deal with Israel. Put that in your notes. What the requirement was with them, with the Canaanites and Jebusites and gigabytes and all of them transformers. The same thing, we wasn't supposed to deal with them. We ain't supposed to deal with no other strange nation going forward. Deuteronomy 10 and 12. Go ahead.
And now Israel.
Now who?
Israel.
Man, this whole Bible's about Israel. I don't know what book y'all got. They might have changed the names by now. All Christians. I ain't no telling what's in your Bible now. All Catholics, all Mormons, all Baptists, all Kojic. Ain't no telling what your Baptists say. Because, their pastors is redoing Bibles now.
Yeah, they are.
They redoing their own Bibles now. Probably got their images in them too. Mm-hmm. Let's send them all over the world. No, let's burn them. Verse 12, go ahead.
And now Israel.
All right.
What doth the Lord thy God require of thee? But to fear the Lord thy God?
Y'all ain't scared of nothing but the person that not send your paycheck.
Go ahead.
To walk in all his ways.
To walk in all his ways.
And to love him.
And to do what?
And to serve the Lord
He
thy
already
God.
said he loved us first, man. He's requiring us to love him.
Yes.
But many of you don't love him. You only love him when things get bad. I need to love him real quick because I need him to answer my prayer.
You turn the love on and off?
On and off.
Oh, man.
Kind of like our relationships. On and off. Go ahead, to serve him.
To love him and to serve the Lord thy God. With all thy heart and with all thy soul.
Man, ain't that sound like Christ quoted that, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Y'all say it's just 2 commandments, but it looked like Christ would just quote what was in the law.
In the law. In your Torah.
Love the Lord our God. So it was more to what Christ was saying than just what you read in Matthew.
Yeah.
With all thy heart, with all thy soul, verse 13.
To keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good.
If Christ was quoting Deuteronomy chapter 10, why are you, because you don't, when you read 10, he say these 2 fulfill all, right? It doesn't say they put an end to all. If you could keep these 2, then you would know about the others. Because Christ was just quoting what was already written in Deuteronomy in the law. To keep the commandments of the Lord, there's more than 2. There's more than 10. But if you don't know that, that's why you need to get with a church and a class that studies.
That's right.
Because one of our requirements is to keep the commandments.
Study.
And when we stop keeping the commandments, you know what we do?
Follow straight.
We start, what we say? We stop destroying altars. We stop breaking images. We actually start marrying the heathens and the strangers. And we start doing those things which are abominable to the Most High, which he said did what? You're going to kindle my anger. And I will destroy you suddenly.
Suddenly.
Ain't it what it said? All right, so let's keep going. Now let's go to 1 Peter chapter 2.
Yes, sir.
1 Peter chapter 2. Let's go in the so-called New Testament. Because something happened, right? I don't know, something happened right around the Gospels, right? 30 AD to 33 AD, right? That was supposed to be Christ's ministry.
Right.
That's when Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they all witnessed and they all wrote what they saw and so on and so forth. So at this point in time, I mean, my brother told me that John the Baptist, who was the forerunner, came and changed some stuff. And now you got the churches saying Christ changed some stuff.
The same John the Baptist that taught his people how to pray?
Yeah, that one, brother.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he changed some laws and commandments without God's permission, right? He had the power and authority to change some laws, statutes, and commandments. And Jesus came, he did away with all those bad laws. You mean bad laws like raping little girls?
Yeah.
Stealing? All those little bad laws, huh? Fornication, adultery, them bad. Coveting, jealousy, envy. Christ came and did away with all of that. Because once we accepted Christ, we were supposed to know in all the commandments. Huh? It was just supposed to be in our spirit. We're supposed to know immediately. We go from wicked to immediate knowledge. I don't know where y'all at.
And still flesh?
In flesh.
Oh.
That's what they teaching now, right? I said the sinner's prayer, and immediately I got the Holy Spirit. And I understand everything.
Oh, man.
I understand it all right now, brother. But that's why they get confused, because let's see if Peter, thousands of years after Moses, let's see if he say something different. Did the chosen people change? 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 5, and then we'll drop down to 9. What verse 5 say, brother?
Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood,
Right.
to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Jesus Christ.
Who are they talking about? Who is these people? Who is these people that are now a holy priesthood? Because now through supersessionism, the Christian church say it's all people. So all people that accept and believe in Jesus Christ are now the new holy priesthood. They can now offer spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Jesus Christ. Drop down to verse 9. Go ahead.
But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood,
Yes.
and holy nation, a peculiar people.
Where we read that at?
Man, we read that.
If it was
way
talking
back
about
in
the
Deuteronomy.
Israelites, why would the Catholics or the Christians or any denomination or any nation of people other than Israel try to claim those 4 phrases?
Mm-hmm.
Chosen, royal, holy, peculiar.
Mm-hmm.
Man, y'all talking about God like he crazy. Like he dysfunctional and he got memory loss. He chose some people, but nowhere in the scriptures does it show he chose everybody.
Right.
Go ahead.
That ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into marvelous light.
Who called us out of darkness and out of marvelous light? Go ahead.
Which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of God, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy.
There goes supersessionism. There go that verse 10. See right there, Pastor Johnny. The children of Israel were considered not a people anymore, and he chose everybody. No. Israel did obey. He did consider Israel not a people. He did also punish the southern kingdom, Judah. But he did not choose other nations.
No, sir.
Because in the time of Christ, was not Israel still there?
Yeah.
So that kills your premise. See, he put Israel in the captivity, northern kingdom, and he put Judah in the Babylonian captivity. But were they not back in Jerusalem by the time of Jesus?
Yeah.
Got you. That's supersessionism. That's theology teaching when you go to seminary school.
Yeah.
They're teaching that even though they can't prove it in scripture, they're just trying to take scripture and make it fit their theology. Did you hear what I said? Rewind that, save that, cut that, post that. But let's go back up to verse 1. Let's try to see who Peter is talking about, my brother. Go up to verse 1. Go ahead. Go to chapter 1, verse 1 and 2. Go ahead.
Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, and
Asia,
and Bithynia. Elect.
Who are the elect? Go ahead.
According to the foreknowledge of God, the Father, through sanctification.
If these strangers was European, why is he saying that they have knowledge of the Father that gave the commandments to Israel? Israel was considered not a people because they were off in the foreign lands doing what? Worshiping those altars, serving them gods, making graven images, and marrying and mingling, thinking they was good old Hellenized or good old Assyrian and Babylonian. And like some of you right now, I'm a great old American. I can marry who I want. I can have as many mixed babies as I want. I can do what I want. God still loves me because God loves everybody. See, them lies taught in the church. Go ahead, finish that.
Through sanctification of the Spirit, unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Jesus Christ.
Can I ask a question? Obedience to what?
The law, statutes, and commandments.
I know you know that. But many people watching me, they not, it ain't sinking. They don't see that. You got to be obedient to the commandments and believe in the blood of Jesus Christ shed for the remission of sin. They not putting it all together, faith and works. That's why Christ said, I'm going to be the stumbling block for those that don't believe in me and for those that believe in me but don't believe in the teachers.
Yeah.
Go ahead, finish it.
Grace unto you and peace be multiplied.
Man, that's a whole bunch going on to get grace and why grace is available. But my point is, we still talking about the children of Israel in 1 Peter 2, and I'm going to prove it to you as we go on, talking about these strangers scattered to all of these foreign nations. That ain't really Asia. That's like Asia Minor. That's like Turkey.
Yes.
We're going to show that the things that was going on, Paul's ministry and the 7 churches in Revelation, man, we're going to get into all of it. How did Israel get there? And why don't you know that Israel was in other lands other than Jerusalem? Because your pastors are not teaching you, sister and brother. Let's go to Hosea chapter 1. We're going to tie this in with 1 Peter here. 1 Peter 2. I read that 1 Peter 1. That was add-on. That wasn't on the screen. I know y'all saw that. Hosea chapter 1. Hosea 1. I don't want to get too far ahead into the series. Hosea 1 and 10, brother. Read that when you get it.
Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea.
See, I said that earlier. I jumped ahead. We was low in number, but he loved us, right? Mm-hmm. But here we go. We're going to get in the future, right? Go ahead. We're going to be like the sand of the sea. Go ahead.
Which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Uh-huh.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
Same place, the same land. They're in the same promised land where they were a people, holy, peculiar, chosen. That same place, they also disobeyed and was considered not a people. And in that same land, you're going to be considered the sons of the living God.
Sons of the living God.
Again. Joe, go over to Hosea 2 and 23. Flip over the page. Read verse 23.
And I will sow her unto me in the earth, and I will have mercy upon her that had not obtained mercy. And I will say to them which are not my people, thou art my people. And they shall say, thou art my God.
See, Israel was considered not a people to God at one point in time. Mm-hmm. The northern kingdom for sure. Mm-hmm. Especially when Christ was walking, because Judah, Benjamin, and Levi was still in Jerusalem. Right. But that northern kingdom, we're going to get into it as we get into this series, they had already been scattered and punished by the Most High. So when they went off ministering, they knew they was ministering to their cousins and their brethren. Mm-hmm. But them cousins and brethren, man, they thought they was good Europeans, good Greeks, good old Romans, good old Asia Minor and Cappadocian, Antiochian, Syrian. They thought they was everything but the sons of the living God.
Right.
They was not a people to the Most High God. I just wanted to show y'all that. Let's go in and drop down to Deuteronomy 28. See what happened to these people. They were not a people. What did they do, man? They did not obey. I'm sure of it. There's some things he was going to do to them because of their old disobedient self. Our leaders is keeping us in disobedience. They making a lot of money, boy. They out in the real suburbs, in their mansions, flying off on their trips every year, paid for by their constituents and donors. And, man, we struggling hard in the community.
They say they're keeping us disobedient and ignorant.
Keeping us disobedient, definitely ignorant. Churches is right involved with it. It didn't used to be so, but now, man, it's turned upside down. Turned upside down. Deuteronomy 28:15, brother. Go ahead. We're going to read that verse and we're going to move on. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Man, we've been reading from the beginning of the chosen people. He had some requirements. He had some oaths and some agreements he made with this chosen people out of all people on the face of the earth. All they had to do was what they was told to do. And they would have stayed on top. But let's see what happens to them if they disobey. Let's keep going. So let's go to 32. Give me verse 32. Go ahead. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto other people.
You mean those sons and the daughters that was not supposed to marry the strangers, that was not supposed to deal with the Jebusites, Canaanites, or any other nation of people other than Israel. Now, if you start disobeying my law, statutes, and commandments, now it said that thy sons and daughters would be what?
Given unto other people.
You mean just like he gave those other nations over to Israel to destroy them? Now our children gonna be given over to those other nations. Go ahead.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Yeah.
And there shall be no might in thy hand. The fruit of thy land, all thy labors. And all thy labors.
Wait. Drop that. And the might in thy hand. You ever, when your kid first go off to preschool or first kindergarten, you have that separation anxiety. The kids is going nuts. Where my mama? Where my daddy? Right? And then you at work, you like, man, he got these strange people watching my children. You don't know what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the blessed feeling is when you pull up and they come running at you and they hit you. Boom! They hit you with that love. Like, I missed you, mama. We ain't running with that same love to the Most High.
Yeah.
Some are, millions are not. Billions are not. Because we're going to be like the sand of the sea by the time the Most High correct this thing. But can you imagine not being able, like how they shut down schools now? If there's a gun threat, bomb threat, you're like a parent sitting outside the school, I need to check on my baby. Yes, ma'am, so do the other 400 parents. Y'all need to just stand over here and we'll wait till whatever happened. And they could be in there doing whatever to your kid. The gunman could be running around. You don't know what's happening to your baby. You just hope that your baby ain't in that number of the ones that lose their life or get hurt when the smoke clears. Can you imagine? You can't even imagine that, not being able to go to school to pick them up. Now, what if they came and took your kid forever? There is no more picking them up, right? You ain't gonna see them no more, right? Like you got two contrasting movies that's out, right? Especially this month. Harriet Tubman just came out, right? And you remember she got busted in the head, and when she woke up, her two sisters was taken. They say when you take your sister south, you don't see them no more, right? When they go into the south, right? Like she was up on the east. We talking south like Alabama, Mississippi. Like that's the land of no return, right? But the slaves that was up north, they felt like they had a little hope. But boy, when they sent your kid off south and sold them south, that's a wrap. And then you got a contrast, still up north, you got 12 years a slave. You got the violinist, right? He get busted at home, walking like he free. And the slave was busting, boom. He wake up, oh my Lord, Lord. He chained up, right? It don't matter how good of English and how good you speak and how rich you were, that boy woke up just like a slave.
Yeah.
And what was his journey? Getting back out of the South, back north.
Yeah.
Because the worst place you want to be is slave is in the South, because more likely you are going to die. So right here, I just want to make this point right here. Stop. Look at my picture. Stop. Listen to God. Because if we are not obedient, which we are not still today in the land of our captivity, listen, our sons and our daughters, hey, we the descendants of that. Now we act like we don't even recall. Like many of us, man, you say, go chase your history. It's not important. That was back then. You know what? You are going to repeat the same disobedience, sister and brother. Yeah. Because our forefathers disobeyed, their sons and daughters was given to another people. Drop down to 36. Go ahead.
The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee.
So it didn't even matter if we had a king, Mansa Musa or whoever we had, man. When the stranger came, it didn't matter if it was Zedekiah, Hosea, Asa. It didn't matter who the king was, Northern Kingdom, Southern. When the Lord sent his hand against us for disobedience, it didn't matter.
That's right.
They took our children, they took our women, they took our king, they took the royal house. Right? Go ahead.
Unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
See, we're going to look at this punishment here because you know that wasn't happening right there in the Canaan land, right? Because when you say Jebusite, Perizzite, and all of them, they right there. That is Israel. We took the land from them. So you wasn't going to no foreign land. Them people was busting you in the head right there in Israel, right? So we got that example, but he said, now listen, you were supposed to destroy these people right here because I gave them to you, but you had mercy and you didn't destroy them all the way. Now they was punishing Israel in the land, but he's saying because of you not hearkening to me, I'm going to send strangers from a far land and take you to a land you ain't been to before, and you're going to do what?
Serve other gods, wood and stone.
Man, that has happened, and that is continuing to happen because we are not in the land. We are not obedient to the one true Elohim, the one true power that set us apart and chose us out of all the nations of people on the world, out of the world, to be sanctified and holy unto him. Our disobedience is causing continual idolatry and continual punishment. What did Ezra say? We are constantly being devoured. Now they are devouring us right in our face. Boom!
Yep.
What you do on your social media? Yup, that keep Negroes in check.
Yeah.
Let's just blow them in the head right now. Bow. White guy do something, you don't see it like that. Black guy get killed, it's on every news station. Why? So I want all the Negroes and all the colored people to see what we do. Boom! I want you to have faintness of heart if you ever think to step up. We're going to choke him out to death. Choke him out to death. Stop. Man, they just didn't stop, man. Eddie Gray, woo! Choked him to death.
Mm-hmm.
By the time that dude came to, your brother was dead. Freddie Gray. Just choked him to death.
Can't breathe.
Huh?
Can't
We
breathe.
give it over into their hands and they devouring us and they publicize it when they do.
Yeah.
Drop down to verse 41. Go ahead.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters.
Now we in captivity in these far lands with strangers, and now we having sons and daughters. Go ahead.
But thou shalt not enjoy them.
We can't what?
You can't enjoy them.
You can't even enjoy your baby. Why?
For they shall go into captivity.
Man, as soon as that baby is weaned from the milk,
Gone.
Gone. Man, I can't remember what they called it. Harriet Tubman said I had 2 bucks, a filly, and I forgot what he called the babies. Man, they had names for us like we was animals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You a buck, a woman's a filly, and the 2 babies, I forgot what they was called, man. I'm like, they talked to us like we was nothing. Like we went to the, what's that, 4A? Back in agriculture, was that the 4A meetings and all that, where they taught you how to feed cows and milk cows and all back in high school? It depends on where you live. I don't know. Major cities, y'all probably ain't had no animals, but in Oklahoma, we had animals, right? You could go somewhere and learn how to be a good farmer and raise some cattle and feed yourself, right? But man, that's how they talked about the Negroes or those colored people, those swarthy people they put into slavery. Yeah. But because we was disobedient, those same chosen people, you was going to have sons and daughters, and the mama was going to enjoy them as long as she keep on that breast milk. Soon as master came by and said, oh, they can talk, they can walk, all right, send them, what they kept saying in the movie Harriet Tubman, let's send them to slavery, let's get some money for them. Send them to market, I think is what they said. Let's send them to market, send them down to the fair. The fairs nowadays just got a bunch of games and rides, right? But when I was growing up, you go to the fair, you get to ride on donkeys, you get to feed pigs and cows and animals. You got to see animals, right? But they treated us just like that. Send them to market. Drop down to 49, brother.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
From where?
From far.
Not in those Jebusite, Canaanite, Perizzite, not in the land of Israel, which we uprooted those people and Israel took that land. No, these people is coming from afar. Go ahead.
From the end of the earth.
Man, how far is the end of the earth? That's going to be a long journey. It wasn't no cars. It wasn't no jets. It wasn't no helicopters. You was riding camels, donkeys, or you was walking. That's far. Go ahead.
From the end of the earth, as swift as an eagle flying.
Y'all remember that movie 10,000 BC? Mm-hmm. They said they was moving swift like an eagle, but they was on boats. Like the people far away from water, they didn't really know how to explain the sails on boats. They just explained it like birds, you know what I'm saying, flying, moving swiftly through the sand. But really what they saw was the sails in the boats moving through the water, through the Nile. But they explained it like birds, right? Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Wow. They wasn't going to regard old people.
So the elders, that was out the window.
So when he sent them against them and they came in, them old people, man, I'm old.
Get him.
Hit him with the sword quick. You're not no use to me. Women, raped them. Kids, let's take them to market. No favor to them. And if they had a little issue in them, they had a little sodomy in them, what's that called? Little man-boy love in them, man, your kids wasn't making it.
Yeah.
If they had a little rapist in them, right?
Get out of there.
Your kids and your women was being devoured. Then sold into slavery, the women was, man, falling on the sword. I'd rather die
Mm-hmm.
than to have this keep happening to me. But this nation was going to come from afar, and they wasn't going to show no love. But many of you like, yeah, you Israelites are always talking about Deuteronomy chapter 28. Well, let me show you my favorite place. Talking about Israel. Deuteronomy is not my favorite one talking about disobedience. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 26. I shared this with my brother, man, because he didn't understand because of our disobedience. That's why we got mental illness. That's because everybody talking about mental illness now. Everybody gone crazy. Israel done lost their, what they say, cotton picking mind. Israel cotton picking mind already been gone.
That's a true sense.
We already been not rap tight. Now they got a lot of not rap tight people making a lot of money. So now it's a big spectacle because now all the people you idolize on medication. And when they don't take that medication, they end up standing in the middle of Hollywood butt naked with a gun. They end up running around the street doing something crazy, you know what I'm saying?
Martin Lawrence said best, out there launching.
Hey, we don't say no name, but everybody know what we talking about. We saw people not acting right on public TV. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But now they're giving millions of dollars to people that ain't rap tight. All these little rappers mumbling, man, that's because they ain't finished school. They don't even know how to speak. And now you give them $1 million to just... they ain't rap tight. They're going to be broke in 5 years. They all get molested. What they say? I mean, just... Mama. Hey, mama. They sound like a bunch of savages. Oh, they say I'm savage. But they used to call us savage, and all of that was lies because we was royal people, man. We had stuff, but now they are degrading us. They got us on medication, ADHD medicine, man. They dropping these kids. I mean, these crack babies right now, man. They love it, man. I'm like, the boy said one verse, Woo! Mama, come on, take, mama, take. I mean, come on, man. Woo! But like, what's wrong with you? You okay? You cold?
Big round
Huh? You all right? Hey, the old people like, that's when we know we old now. You know, we hear that music, we hear our kids going on, we looking at them like, man, what's wrong with them? They not rap tight. You don't need no stranger, no Gentile to look at our kids and be like, man, that ain't rap tight, but if we can make money on it. I mean, you got 2 million social media followers and all that. Woo! Doing dances, looking crazy, spazzing out, you know what I'm saying? Hey, millions of dollars.
You know what they doing, Pastor? They driving cars and ain't there?
Yeah. You driving fake cars, fake walking, you riding on the Old Town Road, you jumping out of, you're not steering your car, hyphing outside. Now you on videos walking by your car, not in it. Like, come on, man, we ain't rap tight. But let me show you the scripture. I had to show my brother that, right? Because if you read Deuteronomy, you just like, oh, the slave captors come, kids, you won't know them. You go off on boats. But no, let me show you my favorite one that just kind of pinpoint who we talking about and what's really happening to Israel because of their disobedience. Get into Leviticus 26, brother. This is where I go when I try to tell people about Israel and who they look like today. Who could it be today? I mean, all pharmaceuticals, all music, all acting, everything is pinpointed to one people in the whole world. And I'm going to tell you right now, what the colored Negro people do in America, everybody in the world is imitating it. In the Amazon, in Australia, in the islands, Africa, Asia, everybody want to be who? Real talk. Who?
Israel.
But you don't know them as Israel. You know them as what? African Americans, colors, Negro, whatever byword you want to use. But everybody, people making millions off these Negroes.
They've been imitating us for years.
For
decades.
Years. I mean, if we stop the whole world market would crash. If it was no us. They know it. Our handlers know it. And the ones handling our handlers know it.
Innovators and creators.
Leviticus 26, start at verse 14, brother. Go ahead.
But if ye will not hearken unto me.
Here we go again. Ain't that same thing it started in Deuteronomy? Mm-hmm. But watch this. Go ahead.
And will not do all these commandments.
Why are commandments not important, but all through the scripture it's talking about listening and being obedient to the command, the mitzvah, what the Most High God told Moses and told all of the prophets to tell the people. Go ahead.
And if you shall despise my statutes.
If you do what?
Despise my statutes.
Man, that's a word, man. If you use it right now, despise. If you use despise in the 21st century, I mean, that word hold a lot of weight in the scripture, and it still hold a lot of weight. Despise, man, I despise you. Whoa. Whoa. Go ahead.
Or if your soul abhor my judgments.
Man, despise my statutes and be angry about the punishment you're going to receive. See, a lot of you is like, I don't want to keep those commandments because what you're really scared of is the punishment. See, you want them judgments to be under the blood is what you want. So you want to throw it all out because you know what comes with being obedience and keeping those commandments is if I break them, I'm going to be punished.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
So that ye will not do all my commandments, but ye break my covenant.
You break my covenant, the same one we read earlier, he told you to keep.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I also will do this unto you.
I'll do what unto you? Go ahead.
I will even appoint over you terror, consumption.
Terror and consumption. Go ahead.
And
we some scary people. Unless we dealing with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I kill you dead, nigga. You hear me? That's how we talk to each other. I slap the mess out of you, woman. I beat your butt, son. But boy, you let a stranger come around, man. How you doing? Everything's fine. Yep. How you doing? You talking that king, queen English now, huh?
Yeah.
Huh? Y'all proper and everything. As soon as you walk away, man, I'll bust your head. Nigga. You know what I'm saying? If your bosses and your people only knew how you talked at home.
Yeah.
I'm just calling it out right now. Don't get it twisted. We scared when the talk come to other people because the Most High put that on us.
Yeah.
But with each other, man, we kill each other dead.
Right.
Man, you stepped on my Jordans. I'm gonna knock you out.
No respect.
Bust your head. You don't want this smoke. I didn't mean to park in front of your street. Man, I'll shoot you dead. I can move my car. It's too late now. For just parking, for just parking over your driveway. I'm sorry, bro.
Stepping on the shoe.
Stepping on your shoe?
Shoot him in the head.
Huh? Baby, I think he touched my butt. What? You in a club. Everybody touch you. Hey, man, you touch my girl?
Nah, brother. Bang.
Bro, your girl ain't got no clothes on in public. But I didn't touch her. But she looked like she want to be touched. I don't want to hear that. You looking at my girl. Bro, look at her.
You looking at your girl.
Sitting, yeah, everybody looking at your girl, man.
Girl.
She ain't got no clothes on. This ain't no strip club.
Keep your eyes in your head.
We crazy. We crazy. Go ahead.
I also will do this unto you.
Uh-huh.
I will even appoint over you terror, consumption,
Yes.
and the burning ague.
See, I showed my brother that, man, and then I went into the Hebrew and broke these words down. I said, man, the Most High gonna put sickness on us, man. He gonna put mental disease on us, man. He gonna make us go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Huh? That's just for being disobedient. He ain't only gonna send strangers to take our kids away. We're gonna be longing for them. We're gonna go into captivity. Man, he gonna make us sick physically, sick in the mind. He gonna make us blind. He gonna put all this disease. Who number one in AIDS?
African American.
STDs.
Us, Israel.
Who the number one sodomites they showing on TV now?
Israel.
Man, we done gone cuckoo. It was taboo 30 years ago.
What they say? Plum crazy.
Plum crazy.
Plum crazy.
30 years ago. I think 40 or 50 years ago, it was a mental disease.
Yeah.
Now it's normal.
It's normal.
Man, that woman over there got a full beard.
She was born that way, Pastor.
Huh?
She was born that way.
She was born that way?
That's what they say.
Man, that's a dude.
She was born that way.
Man, see, the Most High putting this stuff on us that right is wrong and wrong is right. Go ahead.
And the burning ague that shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart. And ye shall sow your seed in vain.
Sorrow of heart, man. Don't we got that depression bad?
Man.
That's all you see now, man. Breakfast Club, all the artists coming out talking about it now. Man. Everybody fighting with depression.
And they prescribing you Vicodin for depression?
Go ahead.
For your enemy shall eat it.
The enemy shall what?
Eat it.
Man, drop down to verse 25.
And I will bring a sword upon you,
Uh-huh.
that ye shall avenge and the quarrel of my covenant.
Uh-huh.
And when ye are gathered together within your cities, I will send the pestilence among you.
Wait. Start 25 again, man. Read that right, because I don't think you read it to where they perceived it.
Okay.
Because he's saying we already broke his covenant.
Yeah.
So he's saying the sword I'm going to send is going to avenge for me against you. Read it again.
And I will bring a sword upon you.
I'm bringing it upon you, us. Not only are we sick, weak, crazy, depressed, all over the place, I'm happy and sad in the same minute. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to run, I'm ready to sleep, right? Can't stay awake. You be falling out. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to send not only that against you, I'm going to send this enemy from afar with a sword to come and not care about your grandpa, your grandma, your kids. I'm going to send the sword to avenge your disobedience. Go ahead.
That shall avenge the quarrel of my covenant.
Uh-huh.
And when ye are gathered together within your cities, I will send the pestilence among you.
Now he's sending pestilence. We done already been destroyed, cut up. Just think of our whole captivities, all of them. Then he send pestilence. Go ahead.
And ye shall be delivered into the hand of the enemy.
The same enemies that he promised us if we was obedient, all our enemies would be delivered to us. Now we being delivered to all the strangers and all the enemies as long as we stay disobedient as a nation. Huh? Drop down to verse 32. Go ahead. 32 to 34. Go ahead.
And I will bring the land into desolation.
So the land where we came from, that he just gave to us, and we took it from the Jebusites, the Canaanites, and all that same land, go ahead.
And your enemies which dwell therein shall be astonished at it.
Now they done took it from us. Now they like, man,
Look
them
at
Jakes
what they
gave
got
this
here.
up. Huh? They gave this up, man. Them people crazy. All they had to do was be disobedient, and we couldn't have beat them.
Yeah.
We couldn't have took the land. I couldn't be staying in his house.
Yeah, if they was obedient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm in Caiaphas' house.
Yeah.
I'm in Peter and John's house.
Right now.
They in Israel's house. Astonished what they've given up. That little old strip of land, the most important strip of land in the whole world.
The whole world.
Everybody want to stay claim to it. Everybody want their church there. Everybody want an embassy there. Everybody want a part. Go
Number
ahead.
one tourist site.
Go ahead, brother.
And I will scatter you among the heathen.
And I will do what?
And I will scatter you among the heathen.
We already read in Deuteronomy 7, those nations right there that are still there, that's still in the fight over there today in 2020, like they right there. They ain't the people from afar. They heathens, but them local heathens.
Right.
Right? Them local heathens. Go ahead. But I'm gonna scatter you to some other heathens. Go ahead.
And will draw out a sword after you.
Man, and I'm gonna draw, they're gonna be cutting you down too by the sword, by the missile, by the gun. Go ahead.
And your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Then shall the land enjoy her Sabbaths, as long as it lies desolate, and ye be in your enemy's land.
So as long as Israel's in the four corners of the world, scattered amongst the heathen, our land is really having a Sabbath. Because they ain't really dealing with all of Israel. All they really care about is the Gaza Strip and that Dead Sea and that potassium.
Right.
That's all they care about. They fighting and guarding that. They don't want all of Israel as the Most High gave his chosen people. They just found some profit, and they want that profit. Our enemies is right there guarding where they found wealth. But we still scattered amongst the world. Go ahead.
Even then shall the land rest and enjoy her Sabbath.
Drop down to 38.
And ye shall perish among the heathen.
Wait a minute. All I had to do is obey. Why am I going through all this, man? Why am I so depressed and sad and crazy and happy and wicked and evil? I got these thoughts in my head. I think I'm going blind. You know what I'm saying? My mind playing tricks on me. Why am I going through all this? Now I'm in captivity. Now my boys is getting shot down. All my brothers is locked up in jail. The other ones is wearing dresses. They stealing our little girls off the street, and our women is marrying the heathen.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And the land of your enemies shall eat you up.
Man, our enemies are eating us up. They taking all the resources. They burning down all the trees. The water bad. The icebergs is melting, man. They eating this world up.
Man.
They can't get enough.
Can't get enough.
Go ahead.
And they that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquity.
Man, they rotting away in their sins that are still left in the enemy's land. Go ahead.
In your enemies' lands, and also in the iniquities of their fathers shall they pine away with them.
All right, man. All we had to do, all the chosen people had to do
Was obey.
obey.
That sounds so simple.
So simple, my brother.
Don't do, then don't do.
So let's figure this out. So I didn't read all of the curses.
Right.
I just read the ones that are pertaining to this series about our history and how we ended up, one way some of us ended up in the Americas.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to bring another alternative perspective. Let me get my word right.
Yeah.
Perspective
Mm-hmm.
to how some of Israel got over here.
Yeah.
But man, let's go back to the beginning. You see what I got on it? I got on the screen a 12th century drawing of Noah's Ark. That don't look like no kind of ark we've ever seen in our Sunday school, vacation Bible school teaching. Not at all. You're a reader. You can rewind it and watch it later, brother.
I just want to see.
Pause, don't do that again. It's being recorded. You can rewind and watch it at a later date. But give me Genesis 6, my brother. Hey, brother, I want to see, hey, shit. We got to record it now.
Oh, man.
We're in the 21st century. We got technology.
Yeah.
Genesis 6, brother.
Yes, sir.
Let's go back to the beginning, man, and let's walk this thing down because now we see who the chosen are and how the chosen fell off, right? We'll pick it back up later about gathered and all that, but let's go in history and let's look at ships. Let's look in the Bible because, most people think that, maybe it's 15th, 17th century, boats ain't been around, boats ain't mentioned in the Bible. Yeah. But go to Genesis chapter 6, and one of the first accounts that you can read in other in other nations, and many people in the world have archives and hieroglyphs and testaments to some kind of catastrophic flood upon the earth. But let's just get in the Bible, Genesis chapter 6, start at verse 13. And let's get into Israel being scattered amongst all these heathens and amongst these nations.
Yes.
Now we know why it happened. Let's get into the scattered part of the chosen people. Verse 13.
And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me.
Whoa, whole nother lesson. Why in the world the Almighty God got to put an end to flesh? Sure, it got something to do with disobedience.
Mm-hmm.
Disobedience, that mean there had to be some kind of rules before the children of Israel came out of Egypt. Mm-hmm. Had to be some kind of code of conduct upon the earth. Go ahead.
For the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth.
Go ahead.
Make thee an ark of gopher wood.
Make thee a what?
An ark of gopher wood.
That depiction, that's a 12th century drawing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was drawn in the 1100s. I mean, that boat is kind of arkish, right? It's in an ark, right? We didn't even think about that, right? An ark, but ark. It arcs. I don't know. Go ahead. I mean, I don't want to use too much common sense because, we crazy. So we think an ark is a box. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Rooms shalt thou make in the ark.
So this ark got rooms. Go ahead.
And shall pitch it within and without the pitch.
Okay.
And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits.
Yeah.
And the breadth of it, 50 cubits.
Okay.
And the height of it, 30 cubits.
Okay.
A window shalt thou make to the ark.
A what?
A window shalt thou make to the ark.
Man, I the best I could find, right? It's all estimates, but the estimates I find is Noah was on the earth about 29 BC, 2900 BC. They had boats with windows. Y'all hear me? Finish that 16.
And a cubit shalt you finish it above, and the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof, with lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it for.
Where you at, 16?
That's it. That's it, end of 16.
So he has a boat with stories,
Yeah, second and third stories.
second and third stories, right?
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like Titanic or Carnival cruise ship.
Yeah.
Levels,
They got
floors,
3 stories.
compartments.
Yeah.
This is a depiction of a Asian boat. Majority of boats back in ancient times came from the Orient. You want to see it bad, don't you? That boy want to see that picture bad, boy. Hey, man, pass it. This ain't right, pass it. I need to get that boy a monitor on the back of the monitor. Brother. Hey, so this is, man, I don't even want to move nothing.
Don't move nothing, Pastor.
But listen,
I look at it
this
later.
is an Orient ship, ancient ship. This is a 12th century depiction of one of the earlier boats, right? You know, back then they used sails.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember the ship that was in the movie 10,000 BC,
Yeah.
it had all those big
yeah.
sails, right?
Mhm.
It was just an ark vessel that could hold a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
within it, right? But when you get into like the definition and you look up ark in Hebrew, right? I forgot to put the Hebrew number here, but when you go into ark and you click on ark, it's called tebah,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps foreign derivation, right? And here it says a box. Ark, vessel which Noah built, a basket vessel in which Moses was placed. So when Moses was also placed in a ark,
Yeah.
right? But I have never seen a box boat. I've never seen a box-shaped boat that floats, because most boats deal with, what's the word? Curvature and buoyancy, right? And they all have
Slopes.
the slopes at the bottom, right? I've never just seen a box, right, float in water. Not saying it can't, but I don't understand how it would resist the waves, which is why you have
The
curvature at the
slopes.
bottom, and that helps you move within the waves of the shore, right? So I'm looking at the earliest makers of ships, and I'm looking at European examples. I don't know if it fits. So in that same Strong's definition, when you break down into it, it says a chest or an ark, which is like kind of the Ark of the Covenant, ark, you know, the design of the ark that Moses was in. But it's funny, right here in the parentheses, it's saying taken from the usage of the Orientals. But Orientals were the earliest makers of the ships. The Portuguese even went and bought their ships from the Orient, and the Arabs went and bought their ships from the Orient to conduct slavery on the Indian and the Atlantic Ocean. But right in that parentheses, you see taken from the usage of the Orient. So I went and said, what do Oriental ships look like? Here's an Oriental ship. It has layers, windows, and it has that arc shape coming through the boat. But you notice the ancient picture I showed you in the 12th century, it also has these end caps, right? Where they put faces, right? You think of The Last Caribbean, you know, they're gonna put their face of who bought it, right? Or they're gonna put a woman, or they're gonna put a dragon, or something on the tips of these boats. But the arc shape of the boat is more Oriental.
right? So you get into all these other different kind of Oriental ships, and you look at them, they're the kind of the earlier designers of where we get all of these cruisers, all of these mega boats that go up to the North Pole, up to the Norwegian. They then go down in the Caribbeans. They go all off in the Indian Ocean. The earliest designers of a lot of these came from the Orient, right? These makers of boats. You also get into the Phoenician boat makers, right? But my point is, there were boats in biblical days, in biblical times. So let's get into this next section. The first scattering written about in the scriptures. Go to Genesis 11. We're right here at verse 6. So flip over to verse 11. Like, Pastor, why are you talking about boats, man? It's about the chosen, because you got to understand that there are boats in the Bible.
Yes.
And you got to know that in the time of the boats, there had to be boats before the scattering of Babel. And I'm just showing you that there's precedent that people moved on the earth in boats. From the earliest scriptures, right? We was in Genesis 6.
Yep.
Right? Genesis 11. Did that make sense? Was that clear? Genesis 11. Read verse 1 through 9 for me, brother.
Okay. And the whole earth was of one language.
The
and
whole
of one
earth.
speech.
Listen, let's learn something while we're in here. The whole earth spoke the same language.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar. And they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar.
Wait a second. So after the flood, not only did they know how to make boats, but they know how to make brick.
Yeah.
They knew how to make brick buildings.
That's what it say here, Pastor.
And they were in the east, and they moved west. Go ahead.
And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach into heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth.
Lest there be what?
Scattered abroad.
So we got one speech. We're going to make us one city, and we're going to make us a tower, and we're going to place and stake our claim to that spot. It said we're going to make us a name right here, lest we be scattered abroad upon the whole earth. So at this collection of time, after the Most High punished all man and beast, flooded the earth, he repopulated it with Noah, his sons, and their wives. As they started having children and children's children, they started spreading from the east, moving towards the west, and all of a sudden they have an epiphany because they all hanging around each other, right? They start clicking up, colonizing up. You know, like these shows on Netflix, like The 100, you know, like all these people that was in space after Earth destroyed. They found a new planet. They recolonizing the planet and everything. They got all kind of shows on Netflix. And they're trying to emulate this, right? Sometimes they throw a little alien involvement in there, but it's really about recolonizing planets and alien worlds, right? So you can see that that's what the people are trying to do. But even in those movies in here, when somebody rises up and tries to be the leader, you start having a little clique infighting. You start having the mole go on, or Survivor. Like, who said Mike was the leader? You know what I'm saying? So when they all speaking the same language, they could all come and vote and say, let's build a tower, let's build some skyscrapers. This gonna be our city. Go ahead.
And the Lord came down to see the city.
Man, let me see what these people doing. I'm talking about all the people that was on the earth at that time. Go ahead.
They said the Lord came down to see the city.
Yeah,
and
Yahweh
the
came
tower.
to visit them. Go ahead.
Yeah, which the children of men builded.
They built this skyscraper. Go ahead.
And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one.
The people is what?
Is one.
They one in thought. They one in speech.
They made an agreement and a covenant to do a certain thing together, right? One currency, one religion, one government, one army, one everything, right? They was one in their decisions. Go ahead.
And they have all one language.
Go ahead.
And this they began to do.
Uh-huh.
And now nothing will be restrained from them,
Uh-huh.
which they have imagined to do.
So whatever is in their imagination to do, all the people in the world can make an agreement. They could do it. Whatever it is in their mind, they could do it together.
They could do it together.
Let's see if this is a good and a bad thing. Go ahead. Is this good or bad? Go ahead.
Go to.
Uh-huh.
Let us go down and there confound their language.
Let us go. Let us. Man, that's like let us make man in our image. Like, here we go, another us. Let us go down, and it's more than one. Us is more than one.
Let's say, go to.
Let us go to.
Let us go down.
Down.
And there confound their language.
And do what?
Confound.
Confuse.
Confound.
Go ahead.
That they may not understand one another's speech.
What's the problem? We all speak the same language. Parlez-vous français? Huh? Deutsch verdonje. Habla español. Huh? Everybody can speak one. We all speak English here. No need to try to speak Spanish. We speak English. All over the world, we get into this one unified language. Why the Most High had to confound it, man? Ain't it good if I can go to Australia and I can understand them, and I can go to Polynesian Islands and I can understand them, I can go to Alaska, I can go to Asia, I can go to Russia, I can go to Bulgaria, and what's wrong? Everybody can understand. We understand the same language. Go ahead.
So the Lord scattered them.
Wait a minute. He confused the languages. And now I thought Nimrod and them said, I thought they got in agreement and made this tower so they wouldn't be scattered. But now the Most High come. This us from heaven comes down.
Yeah, both of them came.
All of them came. However many it is us.
Yeah, they came.
They came and they say, let's confuse these languages, stop these cats from understanding each other, and let's scatter them where?
And the Lord scattered them abroad from hence upon the face of all the earth. And they left off to build the city.
They left off. They stopped to build. They stopped building that city. Go ahead.
Therefore is the name of it called Babel. Because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth.
Who confounded the languages?
The Lord.
Now, how dare any man now, kind of sounds like back then, now we're trying to have one speech and one language again. We're trying to be one again. Universal. One order again. But what happened the first time? He confounded the languages and he scattered them among the face of the earth. He destroyed that city, and that city is called Babylon. Go ahead.
And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
No, just in the east.
Of all the earth.
How could he scatter them in all the earth? Because was the land together? Well, the land didn't have to be together, because I just proved to you that there was boats.
There was boats.
Oh. So we just clicked up. Deutsch verdonje. Be the same. Goodbye. Everybody speaking their own language, and they looked at him, and all they understood was
Reverderch.
That's all they understood. Before we had one language, now I'm looking at that same person, and I don't understand Spanish. I don't understand whatever language you speaking. I don't get it that quick. But somebody got everybody in the world thinking we should all be one. We should have one universal credit card and one universal bank and one church and one. The faster you do it, the quicker the Most High gonna look down and do what? Destroy it and confound it. Go ahead.
These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad, 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he begot Arphaxad 500 years and begat sons and daughters.
So I only say all of this to say, now we have one of the first scatterings on the earth. Who did it?
The Most High.
You ain't gonna be scattered on your own.
No, sir.
That's not something people voluntarily do. Scatter themselves. So now you can see this map here. After the scattering, you can see Ham would have gone and migrated south to what we call today Africa. Shem would have been east and in what we call today the Fertile Crescent or the Middle East, right? And on east, Baghdad, Iran, east. Japheth would have been more west, up into Europe and up into the Isles, even further if the Bering Strait ain't that way, but you know, you got islands, you got some island hopping you can do. I had an image here, but I lost it to show you how close Europe and Nova Scotia and all of that, Northern America, how close it really is. It's not as far apart as many think it is. So drop down a verse, go to 1 Chronicles. Let's move on. So now we know that there was a great scattering. Shem, Ham, Japheth, all the languages was split up. Most High confounded the language, scattered the people. 1 Chronicles, the first chapter. I told you we're coming down from the beginning. We're going to come right down into our households. See how much work we done. 1 Chronicles chapter 1, read verse 18 through 20.
Verse 18 through 20. And Apharxad begat Shelah. And Shelah begat Eber. And unto Eber were born 2 sons.
2 sons.
The name of the one was Peleg. Because in his days the earth was divided. And his brother name was Joktan. And Joktan begat Almodad and Shelef and Hazarmaveth and Jerah.
So I want y'all to see that after, in the days of Peleg, this scattering happened. So there's some time period of where you could have sons and daughters after they came off the boat. After the flood, after knowing his sons came, I want you to know that it wasn't just like immediately, it was the Tower of Babel and, you know, that.
Some time in between.
Yeah, it was some time in between that. And I kind of did a breakdown here, and this is based off the King James version of the Bible. Because when you get into Septuagint, you start to see the timelines of how when people lived and how long they lived is different than what the Masoretes translated. It is where we get these numbers in the King James. But you started Noah in 2939, right? And so Shem was born in about 2437, right? So, and it already tells you that because we read when Shem was born back up here, right? In the day, back up here. No, where was we at? He had 2 sons, right? So we already jumped down to Eber. So let's just say Shem was born 2437. It says Peleg was born 2238, right? So that was about 300 years from the flood. That Peleg, so we're talking about 300 years later after the flood from what these timelines show that the scattering happened. So you can have a lot of kids in 300 years, right?
Yeah.
And then there was the scattering. He confounded the languages and he scattered the people. So go to Genesis 37 for me. So going forward from there, right? Peleg, he begot Rehu, Serug, Nahor, Terah, Abraham. Now we got Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, right?
Right.
The Bible doesn't speak of any major scatterings between Babel and Egypt, right? So the first major one that the Lord did was Babel,
Yes.
right? Now go to Genesis 37, and let's read verse 17 to 29. I want to read you guys a story, right? Because we clarified that there was boats. But now we got to find out about slavery and captivity.
Okay.
Genesis 37.
verse 17 through 28. Go ahead.
And the man said, They are departed hence. For I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan.
So this is the story of Joseph. We're trying to show you how far back can we show slavery and captivity and who it was. Because now we know the Lord did the scattering of all mankind. So that ain't really slavery. Now let's get into let's go and show where the Bible first talks about slavery happening, captivity happening upon the earth. Go ahead, verse 18.
When they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him.
Man, here come Thomas with that darn coat on. I told him not to wear that starter jacket. We don't got no starter jacket, man. Why Joseph think he got, man, look at it, man. He think he's something coming out here, man. We all got on these sackcloths and wearing bear skin and wolf skin, and he got this nice starter coat on, you know, with the lapel, you know what I'm saying? He think he balling, man. Huh? Why daddy like him so much, man? He rotten, man. He the run of the group anyway. Mm-hmm. He might not even be our real brother.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh.
Man, here come old dreamer boy. Go ahead.
Come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into some pit.
Do what?
Let us slay him and cast him into some pit.
That's our brother, though.
Yeah, man, we got to put him in there, man.
Who is my brother? Who is my sister? Who is my mother? Those that do the will of God.
Those that do the will of God.
Man, what is blood, man? These boys is ready to slay their little brother. Go ahead.
And we will say, some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dream.
Man, let's just come together, everybody agree.
Everybody
this
made
is
a
going to be the
covenant.
story. This is the story. We're going to stick with it, right?
Got to get it right.
Got to get it right because we're going to have to shoot that fade. We out here in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm Reuben. I'm knocking heads.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Reuben and Judah and them was flexing on people, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands and said, Let us not kill him.
Wait a minute. So he tried to be big brother for a minute. Wait. Ain't nobody going to put hands on baby boy. This blood. You know what I'm saying? You trying to kill our daddy? Y'all tripping. You know what it's going to do to daddy. Huh? Nobody touch him. Go ahead.
And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into the pit that is in the wilderness.
He can't be killed by our hand, but you could throw him in a pit, though. Go ahead.
And lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again.
Man, we don't want him to come back home. He's spoiled. He get all the attention. Let's just get rid of him.
Yeah, we're gonna hide.
We don't want to kill him, though. We can't kill him.
Yeah.
Right?
But we can hide him, though.
We can hide him, though.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him and cast him into a pit.
They did what?
They took him and cast him into a pit.
His brothers did this.
His brothers.
Family. Go ahead.
And the pit was empty. There was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread. And they lifted up their eyes and looked.
They did what?
They
threw this boy in the pit, man, and they had a cookout?
They sat there and cooked.
Man, they had a cookout? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, throw that lamb on, man. That boy keeps screaming, man. Let's barbecue, man. Let's do something, man. Turn the music up. Somebody play the drums or something, man. Beat the rocks, man. That boy keeps screaming like a little girl. We should have tied his mouth. Go ahead.
And behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead.
A company of who?
Ishmaelites.
Interesting. Go ahead.
With their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt.
Man, they had all they wearing victuals, boy. They about to go to market, man.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to market, you're not only selling food, items, necklaces, shoes, cologne, Everybody now making up shoes, you know what I'm saying? Shirts, T-shirts, whatever you got, you taking it to market with your tomatoes, with your carrots. Hey, but also they taking babies.
Yep.
They taking people. Go ahead.
And Judah said unto his brethren.
Here go Judah.
what profit is it to we slay our brother?
Man, listen here. Just like Judah, a lot of you Jews, real slick talk. Hey, I know what we can do. What's his plan? Not Reuben,
No.
not Ephraim, this Judah.
Mm-hmm.
What Judah say?
So Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood?
Yeah.
Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content.
Man, is that not the craziest speech? Listen up, brothers. Listen up, brother. I mean, 12 dudes, that's a lot of kinfolk.
It's a lot of them, man.
Can I say a word? Let me get it. Hey, I got something to say, man. Listen up, listen up. That boy not only shot down plan A,
Shot down plan
he
B.
shot down plan B,
And C.
and then created plan C,
Mm-hmm.
and then he had the gall to say something nice at the end. Because he is our brother.
He is our brother.
He is our brother, though.
And we can't get him.
can't
He
kill
is our brother.
We can't let our daddy suffer like that.
I'm going to take it. I'm going to keep this coat, though. I like these colors. I'm keeping this coat.
Hey, I'm make a headband out of that sleeve. You know what I'm
You know
saying?
what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Then there passed by Midianites.
Who?
Midianites.
It's a lot of people involved in this
So they
treachery.
coming through, man.
Go ahead.
Merchant men.
Uh-huh.
And they have drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit.
So the brothers threw him in there,
Yeah.
but they didn't take him out.
Nope.
That boys was gone.
They gone.
They gone. Go ahead.
And sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned unto the pit. And behold, Joseph was not in the pit.
Joseph wasn't in the pit. Drop that. Now let's go to chapter 16. And let's look at this, man, because we got people at play here. But I want to, everybody, kinfolk, my family.
What up, Cuddy?
What's up, Cuddy? That's what they say, cuzzo.
What's up, cuzzo?
All right, Genesis 16. Now let's look at the people that's in play here. Let's see what strangers was involved in the first act of slavery in the Bible.
They say Ishmaelites,
Midianite.
Midianites.
Let's walk it down.
Yeah.
Genesis 16, verse 10 through 12. Go ahead.
And the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly.
This is Hagar. This is after Sarah done went over to her husband and say, hey, you got to get that woman up out of here, man. I'm going to slit her throat if you don't get her and that little boy, get that maid servant and her little Egyptian baby. Get them out of here.
Yeah.
Because I'm pregnant now.
Yeah.
God has blessed my womb now. You got to get rid of that hussy. Get out of here. So now Hagar and Ishmael on the run.
Yeah.
Right? Go ahead.
That it shall not be numbered for multitude.
Uh-huh.
And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shall bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael.
Call his name what?
Ishmael.
Who?
Ishmael.
Who did they sell Joseph for 20 pieces of silver to?
Ishmaelites.
They sold him to his own kinfolk.
His own kinfolk.
These ain't strangers. This family.
He cousins.
It's family business. That's the reason they had the ability to walk through, coming through the yard, on the block, coming through the neighborhood. Some of your communities, you can't even come on that block if you ain't right. Man, who that? Who car is that? I don't know them. I get that heat. They ready to smoke you up out of there, man, huh? You can't come on certain streets and blocks, man. You don't know nobody here. Hey, stop the car. Who you looking for? Are we looking for them good miss? All right, they right over there. Who you? They want to know who you is. Who you? Huh?
We family.
That's family. That's my sister. I'm the pastor of her church. You what? You man of God?
I'm the pastor.
All right. Put the heat down. Go ahead, man of God. Say it's a prayer. You know how this Stevie, hey, say it's a prayer on your way. But this that boy family. Yeah. Ishmael is the brother to Isaac. Isaac, Jacob.
Yeah.
Joseph.
Yeah.
This is cousins, his kinfolk.
Cousin.
Distant cousins, right? Go ahead, finish the 12.
Because the Lord heard thy affliction.
And the Lord gave him his name. And the Lord said his seed would be multiplied. The angel came and gave Hagar a blessing for Ishmael. Go ahead.
And he will be a wild man.
But Ishmael gonna be a wild man. You better know who Ishmael is today. Because he was prophesied to be a wild man, and he's still a wild man. It ain't that dude you be like, hey, Atlanta, he a wild boy. No, not that kind of wild.
This is the kind of wild that the Most High used to send swords against people. These people love that sword play, that gun, that bang, bang, chitty, chitty. Them boys is crazy. Missiles, you know what I'm saying? Ishmael crazy. Go ahead.
And he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man.
Wait a minute. Just his brethren.
No, every man.
Ishmael is against every man on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And every man's hand against him.
And everybody's against Ishmael. Go ahead.
And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren.
But he's going to be right in the mix of all his brethren.
Yeah.
Israel, Middle East, where the Arabs at?
Right.
Fertile Crescent. Right in that peninsula.
Yeah.
Huh. He going to dwell right amongst his brother,
Yeah.
and they going to hate him, and he going to hate them.
Yeah.
Ishmael involved with slavery long time ago, before Egypt. But we came down, right? We walked it all the way down from Babel, all the way down to Abraham. Now we got Abraham's children selling each other to each other, or selling each other to the Hamites, right? Because the Hamites went to another land. The Hamites went all the way down into Africa. But we got these Shemites selling each other off to the Hamites, just to put it in perspective. That was 12?
Yes, sir.
All right, now let's go to Genesis 25. Because many of y'all don't know about these Midianites, man. Because you got Median and you got Midianites.
Mm-hmm.
Little tongue-tied there. But many people go to Genesis 25, they talking about Jacob and Esau. But man, let's start at verse 1. Let's find out about the other kinfolk to Joseph that was involved with him being sold.
Okay.
But if he wasn't sold, it wouldn't have redeemed Israel in a time of famine, but it was a horrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, start at verse 1.
Then again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah.
Wait a minute, Abraham only had one wife.
They say, then again, Abraham took a wife.
Again?
Again, and her name was Keturah.
We ain't gonna get into all that polygamy talk, but I mean, they have multiple wives. But nobody knows about this wife, and nobody knows about her children. That's why everybody getting kidnapped and bombed and choked out. Because Ishmael running around, wild boy, and you don't know about his other brother. You know, he got more brothers than Isaac. Isaac got more brothers than Ishmael. You hear me? Rewind it. I said it. Let's read it. Go ahead. So Abraham, Father Abraham, had many sons. Because people would be like, the covenant of Abraham and his seed. And then you got Gentiles and heathens talking about they the seed of Abraham. Nah, Abraham had many sons. He had Ishmael, that was promised to be a great nation. He had Isaac, a great nation. And now he got some other sons over here that none of y'all get taught in y'all church.
Yeah.
Because he had a wife named Keturah. Go ahead. And she bare
him Zimran,
Jokshan,
and Midian,
Midian,
and Ishbak, and Shua.
And Shua. She had 6 sons. This Keturah had more sons than Sarah. More sons than Hagar. But Hagar wasn't a wife. She was a handmaid. But Keturah was a wife. You got to put Keturah up there with Sarah.
Yeah.
Even though the promise came through Isaac, but Keturah was a wife.
Yep.
You hear me? Go ahead.
And Jokshan begat Sheba, and Dedan. And the sons of Dedan were Ashurim and Letushim, and Letumium. And the sons of Midian, Ephah, Hanok, Abadah, Eldaha. All these were the children of Keturah.
Listen, the Arab slave trade is one of the oldest slave trades going all the way back to Abraham and from their inception.
Yeah.
These Ishmaelites and Midianites is the beginning of the Arab slave trade.
Yeah.
And you know what? They still slave trading today.
Today.
I'm just making points. We got boats and we got slave traders before the known slave traders taught in our high schools.
Absolutely.
This is my point right here.
Yeah.
But they was family of the chosen people.
It's crazy.
Brethren, Ishmael, Isaac, and the 6 sons of Keturah. But Joseph's brothers, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, his brothers sold him to the Ishmaelites. But Midian had their hand in it. It's a family affair. Well, I don't know where that came from. Go to Judges.
Judges.
Y'all get it? This is just part one. Our history, we walking it down from the beginning.
Man, it's getting good.
Most High chosen people.
Getting good.
Judges chapter 2. Now we got to go back to talk about these people that was in that land of Israel when it was promised to the children of Israel.
Yes, sir.
Let's go back and touch back on them, and then we'll get into part 2 next week. Judges chapter 2, verse 20 to 23. Go ahead, brother.
20 to 23. Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel.
Man, what was some of the things that made the Most High hot and angry? Sleeping with the other nations, not keeping his law, statute, commandments, making images, making idols, dancing and partying in the groves instead of burning them groves down. Huh? Go ahead.
And he said, because that his people had transgressed my covenant.
He did what?
And he said, because that his people hath transgressed my covenant.
Exodus 19, he said all you had to do was obey. Go ahead.
Which I commanded their fathers, and have not hearkened unto my voice.
They ain't listen. Go ahead.
I also will not henceforth drive out any from before them of the nations.
Wait a minute. Of those nations that I delivered to you, because if you go back and read the story, Joshua and them didn't kick everybody out. They had mercy and pity. Oh, that girl look good, man. I like, Hey, we got a couple of city girls in here, some stallions. We're going to let them live. They're going to make it. Huh? Hey, that's some strong dudes over there, man. We're going to make, we're going to let these dudes, man, they look like they can work for us. We need servants. Like these Israelites now, you're going to be my servants. Well, some people supposed to be destroyed. They ain't supposed to be servants.
Right.
Huh? You lusting after her? You think you could get some good work? You gonna kiss my boots? You gonna work for me? Hey, maybe some people supposed to be destroyed because you disobedient and you're not wielding your sword correctly. You gonna be destroyed with them, right? You're not in defense of the scriptures, being aggressive like that. The Most High will deliver us. He don't need us to do nothing. The children of Israel didn't have to raise a hand. He delivered them right into their hand. Did he not? He said, I delivered them right to you. But he said, because of your disobedience, I ain't driving out nobody of those people you left. Because you weren't supposed to leave nobody. Go ahead.
Which Joshua left when he died.
He did what? Boy, I got ahead. Man, I got ahead of myself. Joshua left, and he should have killed them people. Go ahead.
That through them I may prove Israel.
Through them, who shouldn't even be in existence, but because you disobedient, I'm going to use them first. We ain't even scattered yet, right? We still in our land that was promised to us. I'm going to leave all these people walking around like we walk around in the stranger land right now. Being disobedient.
Right.
Is he not using them to devour us?
Man, yes, he
Why
is.
is all this happening to us? Disobedience.
Disobedience.
Same thing then, same thing happening today.
Yes.
I'm using them strange people, don't matter who it is, they all above us and they all devouring us. Just don't get caught in the wrong neighborhood at night. You're going to disappear. You're going to be fish meat. Huh? And if you're in the swamp and down south, you're going to be gator meat.
Real quick.
And if you out on the coastline, you're going to be shark meat. And if you're in the mountains thinking you could hide up there in the country hills, you're going to be wolf and bear meat.
Mountain lion meat.
That's how they make people disappear. They throw you out in the middle of the woods just like they do deer, elk, and moose and all that other stuff. They throw you out there to be devoured up.
Oh, you chum.
And if the search party can't get there fast enough, you're gonna be gone.
You left.
And whatever the bears and the wolves don't eat, the eagles and the hawks and the buzzards gonna get. And then whatever they leave, the maggots gonna eat up. It's not gonna be nothing left. Go ahead.
That through them I may prove Israel.
Man, we should be, what I say in the other lesson, we should be examining and proving ourselves first. Quit playing around with the Most High God. Examine and prove yourself first, because now when he start proving you, it look like people dying and getting sick and blinded and crazy and punished, and you was on top, now you on the street poor, but you was a millionaire, right? What's happening to Israel? We looking at Israel on social media all astonished, but nobody knows how to help them because everybody else dealing with their own mental illness. Right? But they see that brother there, all they can say is, let's just put him on medicine. Obviously, he had the medicine. He was a millionaire. He ain't taking it. Mm-hmm. Now, what answer do you got to get that spirit off of that brother or sister? You hear me? But the Most High said, I may prove Israel. Seems like everybody wants to be Israel, but they don't want to prove it. They don't want the judgments, and they don't want all that other stuff that comes with keeping the law, statute, commandments.
They just want the name.
We chosen now. He replaced them. But listen, we don't have to keep them rules no more. It's all under the blood. We don't get punished no more. Once saved, always saved. I'm a shoe in for it. I die, I go straight to heaven.
Nope.
Whoa.
Straight to the dirt.
Whoa. He said, I chastise those I love. You got a funny kind of love. You got a kind of disobedient kind of love. Right? Go ahead.
Whether they will keep the way of the Lord to walk therein.
I'm going to use those people to see if they're going to keep the commandments and be obedient. He's still doing it today. We still getting proven, tried in the fire, failing. Asking every God and every other kind of man and every other resource but the one true living God. Go ahead.
As their fathers did keep it, or not.
Or not. Oh, you got a choice. Obey or disobey. And you already see some of the punishment that come with disobeying.
Yeah.
Children snatched right out from you. That sword coming to devour. You see our children missing from the street. We can't stop it. The number just growing and growing and growing. And everybody, all you watching, you just living your life. Living my best life. Dang, another girl missing. Dang, another body showed up, no organs. Dang, another brother shot down. Bang, bang, bang. I'm living my best life, though. Boy, I'm going to All-Star game, man. Hey, I'm going to the Super Bowl, man. Bang, 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 bang. You're immune to the destruction of your own people.
Man.
Go ahead, brother.
Therefore the Lord left those nations without driving them out hastily.
He did not drive them out for you, and you didn't have the power to drive them out. How can I get this man off of me? You can't by yourself.
You can't.
Go ahead.
Neither delivered them into the hand of Joshua.
He didn't even deliver them into Joshua, his chosen after Moses.
Yeah.
Now go to Joshua. Go hold your spot in Judges. Go back to Joshua, because we know Joshua left these people. He had mercy. He seen a couple tail feathers. He didn't want to thrust through with the sword.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He hold on to him.
Couple houses he didn't want to burn.
Got him some side pieces.
Seen some Angus cattle or something over there he didn't want to kill. You know, he was supposed to destroy everything, and looked like they kind of started looting and
you say they got gold in them their hells.
You know, Israel, boy, we got covetous.
Yeah.
Started doing things that was not commanded. 'Cause that's a lot of people to try to keep under control, right? 600,000 people plus women and children. Man. I mean, that's millions of people, man.
Had to get some order in this camp.
Look at us now, man. 44 million Negro Americans in the United States, all out of order.
All out of order.
How do we get back in order if nobody wants to be in order?
Gonna be utterly destroyed.
Utterly destroyed. Read Joshua 13, verse 1 through 6, brother.
Joshua 13, 1 through 6.
Yes, sir. Because, you know, they said Joshua left them.
Yeah.
Who he leave? Go ahead.
Now Joshua was old and stricken in years. And he, and the Lord said unto him, Thou art old and stricken in years, and there remaineth yet very much land to be possessed.
Man, they ain't even went and took all the land. Man, you didn't know Joshua didn't finish his job?
Man.
He didn't get all the land. He didn't get rid of all the people. He got old. Go ahead.
This is the land that yet remaineth, all the borders of the Philistines and Geshur. And Sheor, which is before Egypt, even unto the borders of Ekron northward.
Man, who do we have problems with after this?
The Lord.
Philistines.
Mm-hmm.
You all right? Go ahead.
Which is counted to the Canaanites. 5 lords of the Philistines.
5 lords of the Philistines. Go ahead.
The Gazathites. And the Ashdodites.
Ashdod. Yep, Ashdod. Go ahead.
Okay. And Ashkelonites, and the Gitteites, and the Ekronites, also Avites. From the south, all the land of the Canaanites and Mearah, that is beside the Sidonians, unto Aphek, the borders of the Amorites.
Go ahead. Who we had problems with later? Amorites. Go ahead.
And the land of the Gibeonites, and all the Lebanon, toward the sun rising from Baalgad under Mount Hermon, unto the entering into Hamath. All the inhabitants of the hill country from Lebanon unto Misraphmia, and all the Sidonians, them will I drive out from before the children of Israel. Only divide thou it by lot unto the Israelites for inheritance, as I have commanded thee.
Man, so some of these people didn't even get kicked out, man. It wasn't his job to do wholly because he just got old and he ran out of time. But let's look at this passage more clear. Go back to Judges. Go to Judges chapter 3. Because I was saying a whole bunch, and what I wanted to show there is Joshua didn't get to finish his job.
Yes, he left
a lot of people still was in their land, so they thought they were spared from the wrath of the Most High, right? But we know that they just left job for David and some judges and Samson, and you just left some work for some other people that had to go thrust through, right?
Yeah.
But let's go back to Judges real quick.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get a better understanding and tie this back to Deuteronomy, because I think it lines up, right? Same people we're supposed to kick out, I don't think we kicked them out. Read verse 1 through 7.
3, 1 through 7.
Yes.
Now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known all the wars of Canaan.
You hear that? All of Israel didn't even know all the wars of Canaan. But he said he was going to leave some people there to prove them, right? We just read that in Judges, right? Let's look at these people named that was proving Israel. Go ahead.
Only that the generations of the children of Israel might know.
Wait a minute. So there was a lesson to be learned. Did we learn our lesson? Go ahead.
To teach them war, at the least such as before knew nothing thereof.
We gonna love our way out of captivity? We gonna love our way to freedom and liberty?
Man, it ain't worked yet.
It don't work that way, man. We gonna believe our way in Jesus to freedom? No. He always used man.
Yeah.
The Ruach.
Yes.
Man, sword.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Namely, 5 lords of the Philistines.
5 lords of the Philistines gonna come against them. Now here, this prophecy, this ain't even happened yet. But Joshua didn't finish his job. Now Israel done got caught up with their strange women and their idols. And man, the Most High gotta prove these people now. Now I'm gonna come at them with the Philistines. Go ahead.
And all the Canaanites.
Man, I thought they were supposed to have done away with the Canaanites. So that's why the Canaanites are still around, because they weren't all destroyed. Go ahead.
And the Sidonians.
Sidonians.
And the Hivites that dwelt in Mount Lebanon from Mount Belaramon unto the entering of Hamath. And they were to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandments of the Lord, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses.
Man, that's almost like if they would be disobedient, the proving would stop.
Yeah. It's kind of,
I mean, that's what I'm reading, brother.
Yeah,
right?
it's kind
if
of
we
what I'm
would,
saying.
as a nation, figure out who we are, and then figure out that we are the chosen, the sons of God, and be obedient, all the proving would stop.
That's pretty much what he's saying.
They're going to release us out of jail. They're going to stop snatching our kids, stop stealing our organs. We're going to get out of these gentrified neighborhoods.
Yeah.
He's going to put us back in the land and put us back on top.
Put it back on top.
But we got to be obedient.
Yeah. Something got to change.
That verse right there is almost like, I want to see if they'll stop and just listen and do what I told them to do.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother, to 7.
And the children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites, the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites.
Why are they saying they dwelling among them instead of ruling over them?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? We didn't remove them all, and now they all still staking claim to that land. It ain't all the way ours now.
Right.
And it ain't going to be all the way ours till these same people that was proving Israel at this time get removed. And you know who did a lot of that removing? David.
David did. David killed a lot of people, man.
He put the end to a lot of these wars.
Yeah.
And then that was only for a short period of time that he ruled.
And then he got old
Solomon,
and tricking.
he went off.
Yeah.
I mean, we wasn't in rulership long. Why? Disobedience.
Disobedience, man.
Go ahead, brother. Finish 7.
And they took their daughters to be their wives.
Uh-oh. Didn't he tell us not to do
He
that?
told us not to do it.
Go ahead.
And gave their daughters to their sons and served their God.
Man, ain't that what he said in Deuteronomy 7?
That's what he said, man.
Don't do
this.
This is the requirement for this agreement.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord.
He called this evil when you're mating, giving your sons and your daughters to strangers, having these crazy marriages where we a hot bar tequila and then we jumping over a broom. You know what I'm saying? You having a quinceañera with a baby shower. You know what I mean? Like you having all these mixed cultural or mixed religion type of things. You know what I'm saying? You having a Catholic Christian and then you coming in with Pastor Pork Chop. And he trying to dunk and he almost drowned your baby. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
You having these mixed things and you fighting about rituals and tradition and religion dealing with strangers. This is evil in his sight.
Mm-hmm.
This is just going to be perpetuated with the other people and heathens that he bring against us.
Yeah.
Israel keep assimilating instead of destroying and removing.
Mm-hmm.
We keep assimilating. We like being like our captors instead of ruling over.
Right.
It's almost like we like being slaves because all we got to do is be obedient.
Yeah.
I said it. It's that simple. You be the head, not the tail, above and not beneath.
Lender, not to borrow.
Come on, man. Obedience. Go ahead, finish that, brother.
And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord.
And did what?
And forget the Lord their God.
And started doing what?
And served Baalim and the groves. He said to cut them groves down. Burn them hedges.
So we know we done went through the judges. We done seen Samson come up, doing work on the Philistines. And then David finally had to come and war against the Philistines, the Edomites, and all of these other lands and put them in subjugation. They started paying tribute. Then we was in rulership for a little while. But let's look at the Psalms that David wrote. Because we left these people in the land.
Yeah.
They did not want these strangers in the land. You remember the Most High said, don't do wrong against the strangers because you was once a stranger in Egypt, right?
Yeah, he did say that.
So all these brothers now talking about we're going to be in the kingdom and be in rulership and we're going to be horrible lords.
Man.
We're going to be chattel lords. We're going to be evil gods. We're going to be raping the women and beating the children and cracking the whip on. That's not what the scriptures say.
Not at all.
Even when we was in rulership, we didn't deal with the stranger that way.
That's right.
So how could it be we're going to get into the kingdom and the Most High who give us all these commandments is like, I'm going to take the hand out, do what you want with them. That's crazy. But give me Psalms 83, man. Let's look at something in the Psalms. I think this is our last section. This is our last place. Psalms 83. And we're going to end part 1 here. I got a time on it. The showing? All right. Sorry about that. Psalms 83. Get to the end, boy. Get it rocky, man. We've been flowing too. Give me Psalms 83, brother. So now we're going to look at what was their response to Samson, the judges, King Saul, King David. What was their response to the kingdom of Israel trying to come on board and be in a nation? What was the people in that area's response to Israel establishing itself as a nation? Psalms chapter 83, verse 1 through 8. Go ahead.
Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo,
Man, what is he praying, man? He's supplicating, man. This is how you supplicate. It's like a conversation, but you got a request in the middle. What's going on? Go ahead.
thine enemies make a Talmud.
Wait a minute. Did he say my enemies or did he say thine enemies? You got to understand the Most High is either going to destroy them and remove them from your life or he's going to use them to prove you. But he's in control of it all. But they don't keep his law, statute, commandments. They were always nothing, a spittle, a drop of a bucket, heathens. They never kept his law, statute, commandments. And even today in his name, they still don't keep his law, statute, commandments. They are never his. Mm-hmm. So thine enemies, because if they're the enemies of his people, they're his enemies. Absolutely. They just ain't figured it out yet. But there are those that do know they are his enemy.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They that do what?
They that hate thee have lifted up the head.
His enemies hate him, they hate his people, and they hate his law, statutes, and commandments. They hate everything about the children of Israel and them being chosen and them having the power, them being redeemed from Egypt, them coming into Canaan land. Like his enemies hate all of it. Go ahead.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have done what?
Taking crafty counsel against thy people.
Like Tower of Babel, they came together and tried to be one again. Go ahead.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
Okay, so now they sitting up talking now.
Yeah.
Huh?
Look what we did.
Okay, man. We know how they got here.
Yeah.
And all we got to do is keep them in disobedience. We know how to keep them separated from his will.
But we got to keep the women in play because the women going to be the ones that easily lead them to the wrong guy.
Right.
Got you. Let them women, man. Let them have it.
We like they women.
Like they women.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Do what?
Let us cut them off from being a nation.
I had the other slides, I removed them, but when you saw to cut them off, that means hide them.
Yes.
Hide them. We're supposed to be sanctified and holy, but now they trying to cut us off and hide us from even being a nation of people. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
The name of Israel and the meaning of Israel, Yasharallah, it means nothing anymore. The people don't know who they are. They don't have no land. You know, they're putting ISs on it and ISHs and they changing and they've taken the land. They didn't take the land. They only took a portion of the land. It's people pretending to be them. They're doing a great job of playing hide and go seek with Israel.
Man.
Go ahead.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
With what?
With one consent.
Man, we seen that somewhere before, didn't we, brother?
Before, yes, sir.
We seen that in Babel. It don't work too good. It's an end to it. Once those us come down and start reviewing and seeing things, it's an end point to it all. Mm-hmm. It always has been, always will be. Go ahead.
They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom.
These are the groups involved now. We got Edom, which is Idumea, which is also Rome. Mm-hmm. But y'all don't know Rome was in the Old Testament. That is Rome.
Yes.
They say they're Rome.
Yeah.
Rome says they're Edom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You do your research. Go ahead.
And the Ishmaelites.
The who?
And the Ishmaelites.
Kinfolk.
Kinfolk.
Wait a minute. Edom is kinfolk. So did the Romans look like the Romans look today? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think it's a hijack. I think Edom is wrong because Edom came and killed the original Romans. The Etruscans. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Of Moab.
So we know Moab, that's the descendants of Lot. Kinfolk. Lot is the who of Abraham? The nephew. Kinfolk. This family. First three off the top, family.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And the Hagarenes.
Descendants of Ishmael. Family. Go ahead. Gabal. Now that's a city in Canaan, but I seen some research in the Jewish Encyclopedia. It said Gabal is another name for Northeast Edom.
Northeast Edom.
Go ahead.
And Ammon.
Descendants of Lot, family. Go ahead.
And Amalek.
Esau, family. Go ahead.
Philistines.
Now here go the Philistines who was left, right?
Go ahead.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre, and I have that as the Canaanites. So we got a couple Canaanite families, major cities holding on, right? That was in North Canaan. Go ahead.
Asher,
Assyrians, right? Asher, capital in Nineveh, right? Go ahead.
also is joined with them. They have hoping the children of Lot. Selah.
They have helping or hoping the children of Lot. A major confederacy, right? This is the beginning of what you would call the Sanhedrin, the United Nations. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of the United Nations. This just grew. This is just grown from the Middle East, and it's become bigger. And now the heathens and now all the other nations of Europe, right? Asia as we know it today, all around the world. Now everybody that comes together in that one consent and agrees to do what? Cut Israel off and do what? Make the name of no
Israel,
remembrance.
No remembrance.
Sister and brother, this is what's happened to the children of Israel, the chosen people of the Most High, his holy, peculiar kingdom of priests, up into the time period of King David. Sisters, I'm going to end right there. That's part 1, the chosen and the scattered. Please stay tuned next week, and we will pick back up with the scattered and dispersed, part 2, here at the Multitude of Christ Ministry. I'm Pastor Johnny. This is my reader today, Brother Michael. And we give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh and his son, Yahweh Shai. And we say, please stay tuned, like, share, come visit us. We are going to go from the Bible times all the way to the 21st century, and we're going to show our history according to Scripture. And with that, we say, sisters and brothers, Yah bless.
Yah bless.